Our tour of Class 6A football brings us to Cullman for a Region 8 showdown with a home team looking for an upset while the visitors look to keep their lofty ranking. The roster of the Florence Falcons is loaded with college talent, while Cullman might be young but has a solid history on its side. They meet for the first time, Florence and Cullman on Raycom next. Welcome in to Thursday Night Touchdowns. Tonight, from Cullman, it's the Bearcats playing host to the Falcons of Florence. Hi, everybody. Graham Dunn with Mike Peacock. Two teams looking to jockey for position in Region 8 and Class 6A, Mike, and this is a key game for both teams.
Well, it really is. You know, Florence is coming off a big win last week over Muscle Shoals in front of a lot of people, a big rival game up there. Cullman is a young team trying to find their identity, but a very well-coached and very fundamentally sound team. So I'm looking for a good ball game tonight, Graham.
We spotlight a couple of defensive players tonight, beginning with a young man who's already said he's going to Alabama.
Well, Keaton Anderson is the quarterback of the defense for Coach J.B. Wallace in Florence. He's a very smart, heady player on the defensive side of the ball. His recognition skills are very good. And Coach Wallace says his closing speed is tremendous. So he's going to be a player to watch tonight, and he's already announced, Graham, he's not going to take any visits anywhere else. He's going to Bama.
On the other side, on defense, Justin Patterson. This guy already has 6.5 sacks. We expect to call his name a lot tonight.
Absolutely. 23 tackles in the first two ball games. This guy is an animal on the defensive side of the ball, and definitely will be calling his name quite a bit for the Black Shirts tonight.
The Falcons come in ranked 8th in the state. They'll see if they can continue their good fortune. Cullman's got something to say about it. We've got the kickoff coming up from Cullman when we return. Stay tuned.
I'm Steve Savarese, Executive Director of the Alabama High School Athletic Association. Unfortunately, in our society, winning has come before everything. But if winning comes at the expense of good sportsmanship, then nothing is gained in the long run. Good sportsmanship is the result of a disciplined effort to respect yourself, your opponents, and to practice the golden rule. Always remember, good sports are winners.
2/3 of drivers who died in car crashes chose to ignore this warning. Seatbelts save lives. Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
If you're involved in a car crash where a driver's been drinking,
you're 4 times more likely to die.
more people die when it's DUI.
A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That changed my life.
At that moment, it hit me. This is why I joined the Guard. We're soldiers, always ready to protect our country. But we've also got communities. Family, friends, neighbors who count on us. I couldn't believe it. I just saved a life to somebody from my hometown.
See what it means to be a citizen soldier at NationalGuard.com.
Derek, what's with the scrubs? Shh.
She's going for it. It's gonna work. She's going for the burger. Stand back, everyone. I'm a doctor. Look, I got it. I got it.
Jack for more.
Welcome back to Woodard Stadium here in Cullman, Alabama. Falcons of Florence and the Bearcats of Cullman. A beautiful night. We had a little rain come through about an hour or so ago. It's out of the way. Hopefully we won't see any more tonight.
I hope not, but it made it a little steamy, especially up here in the box, Graham, after that shower moved through. But we had a great rainbow, which was really cool. A full rainbow across the sky, so it was kind of neat to see that before tonight's game getting started.
Great crowd. We expect it to continue to grow, as Cullman certainly has a great fan base. They've been supporting this team for a long, long time. And they got a young man. I say young man. I know he appreciates that. Mark Britton, he's been here a long time, 14 years now as a head coach.
Yeah, Coach Britton's done a great job here at Cullman. prides himself on having fundamentally sound teams and having his kids in the right place, and his kids buy into this program and put a lot of work into it, and every year they have success.
Meanwhile, on the other sideline, J.B. Wallace in his first year as head coach of the Falcons.
He took over for his former boss, Jamie Dubose, who sort of made a tour of Alabama after he left Florence, went to Charles Henderson for a little while, and then an opening came about at Central Phoenix City, and he's there and doing very well at Central. So Coach Wallace getting a chance as a head coach, and says the transition has been great at Florence.
Florence will have the football first as Matthew Bell tries an onside kick to start off, but it's recovered by Florence around the 45-yard line. So a little trickery to start off for the Bearcats, but all for naught. And it'll give Florence great field position to start the game.
Derek Thurkill there with good hands, grabbed the ball and got knocked out of bounds, but Florence is going to start with very good field position on their own 45-yard line.
Blake Hawkins, an interesting story at quarterback. In fact, he kind of walked in, came in off the street, so to speak, and helped fill in a spot that Florence needed some help.
Well, they had the quarterback spot vacated by a very good player after last season. Senior graduated, and here comes this 6'5", 220-pound kid transferring in from Tishomingo, Mississippi, and Coach Wallace thought they got a gift when he walked through the door and introduced himself and said, "I'm going to be transferring here."
He'll throw it deep on first down, and the catch is made inside the 5. D. Smith with a catch and a big play on first down for the Falcons.
Well, they came right out of the gate right there and showed the arm of the quarterback as he is going to make a nice throw downfield. Almost a touchdown there. Thought he got loose right there inside the 5. 52 yards on the play.
Nice start for the Falcons, 1st and goal. And on the second play from scrimmage, they find pay dirt. And I'll check the number. I believe that is Roland Adams, who scores from 5 yards out.
I believe you're right. Coach Wallace said Roland Adams would be a workhorse all over the field tonight for Florence, and he gets the first carry for a touchdown.
Didn't waste any time, did the Falcons. They put points on the board. They only need 2 plays to do it. And we'll see our first extra point of the evening. Edson Casarubias will try the extra point from the hold of Derek Thurkill. It is up and good. So lightning strikes less than 30 seconds in. It's 7-0 Florence.
Big play on the first play from scrimmage. Great.
We'll take a timeout. Florence will kick off. Cullman will have it when we come back.
As your Alpha Insurance agent, I can help you customize a plan that'll save you money while still protecting your family.
Saving $10, $15, $20 a month makes a big difference for families.
We're able to give you a better product for a better price with better service.
I try to give the customers the kind of service that I want myself.
That has value. You can't get that online.
We have a great product, a great claim service, and it's a real value buy.
For the best agents in the business, call Alpha.
Meet Pete and Paul, twins so much alike, friends call them Pete and Repeat. But Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama treats them as individuals. Each gets a health insurance plan designed to meet his specific needs. One is a self-employed entrepreneur, the other working for a large company. After all, no 2 customers are alike, especially in Alabama. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama. We cover what matters. Find out how we can cover you.
If you have AT&T UVerse, a weird thing can happen when you turn on your HD TVs. Your UVerse internet connection will slow down, interrupt you. Not with Charter. With Charter, you get internet speeds of 30 megabits per second, 5 times faster than AT&T UVerse. So no matter how many TVs are on, your internet will never do that. Hey, AT&T, if you sell internet and TV together, shouldn't they work together better than this?
Well, Florence wastes little time. 2 plays in 24 seconds, and they lead at 7-0. And Cullman will get the ball trailing here the first time tonight. Not exactly what Mark Britton had in mind.
No, I'm sure. But, you know, right away we saw the arm of Blake Hawkins On the first play, they put it up in the air and throw it downfield, and he made a perfect throw and set up an easy touchdown for Florence.
Hayden Henderson breaks free. One man to beat. He's got nothing but green in front of him. Nobody's going to catch him. 94 yards. Touchdown, Cullman. Is there a flag? I don't see one.
Unbelievable. You know, we were hoping, Graham, before the game, we were hoping for no lightning tonight, but it struck twice, and we're not even a minute into the ball game.
And let me back up. That was Bronte Harris, the senior, with a touchdown return, 94 yards. Hello, 7-6.
Wow.
That was like the Red Sea opening right there. That was just a beautiful blocking scheme by Cullman. And now Matthew Bell will try to tie it. We haven't played a minute, and we're about to have a 7-7 tie. High snap, handled the kick. It's good. We have a flag down, though.
Yep.
And we may have to do it again. Wow, what a return by Harris.
But Graham, is like you said, it's like the Red Sea parted. I mean, he started up the middle and a hole just opened and there was nobody there. The only person who really had a chance to get a tackle on him was the kicker, and he couldn't make the stop. He tried to slow him down enough for another white shirt to get to him, but a burst of speed, and it was all she wrote.
So the point after try again, 5 yards back. This time a better snap. The kick is through the uprights, and we are tied with 11:21 to play in the first quarter. How about that?
How many times have you seen that in any game? Doesn't matter if it's high school, college, whatever. How many times have you seen two scores in less than a minute?
Well, we just did.
We did.
And very exciting here to start at Woodard Stadium. Well, we thought we might have a good one as we talked to both of these coaches, and they were both confident, but not overconfident. They knew that things could happen, and we've already seen that.
Well, I'll tell you, Graham, J.B. Wallace paid maybe the ultimate compliment to another coaching staff. When I talked to him, he said, you know, we've looked everywhere for a weakness to try to attack with these guys, and we can't find one. And he said that means they're well coached. That means they're fundamentally sound. That means their kids are always in the right place. And he said we're expecting a really good ball game, and that's what we've seen so far.
And how often do you hear coaches talk about the kicking game, how it can win you and lose you a ball game?
Right.
And already we've seen that take place tonight, a touchdown kickoff return for Harris. Well, here we go
and remember, we had the short opening kickoff, the little onside try right there that gave Florence really good field position. So both scores are connected to the kicking game a little bit there.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say they don't do that again.
I think you might see the old deeper pooch kick this time. I don't think you're going to see the onside.
Florence does have speed. Well, they got it everywhere. But the guys awaiting the kick are pretty speedy. And Carroll, who looks like he will get this return at the 18. He's got a little bit of a seam, but he'll get to about the 31, 32-yard line, brought down there. And that's where Florence will set up shop. So they needed 2 plays on their first possession. Cullman didn't need any. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see if we actually get to see maybe a drive this time and not, you know, a couple of big plays. But Blake Hawkins coming back out. We were talking about him. He transferred in from Tishomingo High School in Mississippi. And Coach Wallace said he felt like he got a gift when this guy walked in the office and said he was transferring. And they basically have said they're not afraid to put the game in his hands.
Quarterback keeper, first down and more. Cross midfield and brought down near the 48-yard line goes Hawkins. A nice start for the drive right off the bat, 20 yards.
And Coach Wallace said he's not just a big guy who can throw the football. He can actually run, and he's very mobile, and he proved it right there on that play. Made some nice moves to get that 20-yard run.
Will Crenshaw with the tackle, and he'll keep it again. This time he'll still get 8-9 yards running over Bearcat defenders up to the 40.
Good read on the option right there as he kept it, turned it upfield, and you're right, Graham, he actually ran through a couple of people to get some extra yardage.
You know how a lot of times when you got a guy, he looks like he's, and I don't mean this wrong, but top heavy, but he uses that to be able to bowl over, and he lowers that shoulder, and you've seen it already. 2nd and 1 from the Bearcat 40, they'll run the slip screen, and that might have gotten the first down. The pass complete to Lamar Lee, and we'll see where they spot it. It looks like it might be enough, and they will move the chains.
I'm keeping a little eye on Blake Hawkins there. I believe on that first running play, Graham, he might have tweaked his wrist on his right arm. I believe he's in a little bit of pain, but he's playing through it right now. He's actually had a couple of runs since then, so we'll see what happens.
We've played about 2 minutes. 1st and 10, the run gains about 2, maybe 3 yards. First carry tonight for Cameron Davis, a sophomore running back. It'll be 2nd, and we'll call it 7 from the 35. Both of these teams will go no huddle. They both run the spread, but they run a different version. We'll explain that as we go through. Handoff again, skipping to the left side. He's got running room, and out of bounds is Roland Adams. He looked like he stepped out at the 15-yard line, pushed out there, I believe, by Ethan McMinn. But another first down for Florence.
And Roland Adams is a jack of all trades for Florence, Graham. He plays receiver, he plays running back, he's going to play on special teams, he's a kick returner. You name it, he does it. He's going to see the ball a lot tonight for the Falcons.
This time he lines up in a slot, 1st and 10 from the 15. This time the handoff to the left side, Davis again, and he is pushed back after a yard or 2 gain. He'll get to the 13-yard line. Looks like he was hit first by number 34, Blake Purifoy. So we'll give him a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9. Just underway, and if you missed the start, well, you missed a lot. 7-7 in the first minute of this game. But Florence knocking on the door again. Another handoff, another short gain. Did the ball come out?
It did.
Cullman says it did. No signal yet from the officials. Now somebody throws up a hand and says Florence keeps possession.
I believe that was big number 68 for Florence that jumped on the ball there and saved the possession. That is Spencer White, the right guard for the Falcons.
He battled 3 Bearcats to get that loose ball. Now a 3rd and 7. First possession play for Florence tonight. Looking to throw in the end zone too hard and off the hands of the intended receiver. J.K. Minor was the intended receiver, but a little bit too hot on the pass.
Yeah, just a little bit too much juice on that ball off the hand of Blake Hawkins.
And we are watching Hawkins come off, and he is writhing in pain. So we'll keep an eye on that. That could be a huge part of this ball game. The Falcons will try a 30-yard field goal. Good snap. And a lob kick, so to speak, but it is good. And that gives Florence the lead. Casarubias with a 30-yard field goal and 10-7. Now our score, the Falcons on top. But let's keep an eye on that far sideline.
Absolutely, because Blake Hawkins, we said he was in some pain, and I think that throw, Graham, really aggravated whatever he did to his right arm, whether it's his wrist or his elbow, I'm not sure. But when he made that throw right there, he immediately turned to the sideline and had to come off the field. And that was the first throw he had attempted since he suffered that injury, I believe, on the first play of the drive when he had the 20-yard run.
Here we go, Black. Here we go.
So we'll keep an eye on that on Florence's next offensive possession. Meanwhile, the Falcons will kick off here leading 10-7 with 8:21 remaining in the first quarter. Wow. We've had, well, really 2 possessions.
Yep.
Both of them by Florence because Coleman's touchdown coming out of kickoff return. And let's see how they handle it this time. Same guys are deep for Cullman. And Casarubias, we'll see if he'll kick it deep or if he'll squib it this time. End over end, but much shorter at the 20. Coming to the near side. Puffer looking for room. And this time he'll get hit hard and down at about the 22, maybe the 23-yard line. And we'll get our first look at the Cullman offense. And it'll be Ross Crocker, the quarterback. He's just a sophomore.
I was going to say Kofor ran about 60 yards to gain about 3 or 4 there on that return. as he tried to get to the wall that was being set over here on this near sideline. Good job of coverage that time by Florence.
I have a feeling the Falcon coaches had a little discussion with
I think they probably had a little word.
Yes. So 1st and 10 at the 22. Crocker with a one-back set. He will make the handoff. And another big hole. 1st down and more across the 40, down to about the 43-yard line. That is Will Crenshaw. 22 yards on the play.
Nice run by Crenshaw there. A little bit of deep penetration for Florence right there. They got upfield a little too quickly on the defensive line. That hole formed, and he shot through it. A big gain for Cullman.
Initial 1st down of the night for Cullman. This time they'll throw, and that one skips to the intended receiver, Seth Donaldson. It'll be 2nd and 10. There is a slight chance the ball might be a tad damp tonight. The field, which is an artificial surface, you can still see the gleam from the rain that we had earlier today.
I was just going to say, you might be able to see on your television screens a little sheen on the field. We had a nice little shower before the ball game. It's a little damp out there.
But in that case, I think it was just a short hop pass. Draw play. Big yardage again, and close to a 1st down goes Crenshaw. He'll be about a yard short. As a young pile, I believe that was Keaton Anderson with a tackle.
Well, and I think you saw a little bit of the closing speed right there for Keaton Anderson. I think that play had gotten past him, and he caught up to it and made the play.
3rd and a yard, just inside Florence territory. And I don't think Crenshaw got it.
That was a big hit right there that time.
Yep, 41, Braden White.
Braden White stepped up in the hole and made a nice hit, and he's a 3-year starter for Florence, and he's another one of those linebackers that's pretty doggone good back there for Coach Wallace, and he stepped up and did his job right there, met the back in the hole, didn't give him a gain.
They do give him forward progress right at the yard marker. They will bring in the chains. This is the first region game for Cullman. They took last week off. That was after a huge win over Etowah 2 weeks ago. They opened the season with a loss, but Mark Britton saw a great amount of improvement between those 1st and 2nd games. And you hear coaches say that, and that is a 1st down, by the way. So he does get forward progress. But Coach Britton said it. He said, I'm enjoying coaching this team. He said, yeah, it's a roller coaster. Some days they bring you up, some days they bring you down, but we're teaching. And that's what coaches are supposed to do.
Exactly.
1st and 10 at the 47. One back set for the quarterback. And Crenshaw gets it again. We'll get a good dose of him tonight. He'll take the pile with him across the 45 down to close to the 43.
I tell you,
he'll get 4 yards.
Crenshaw's not a big kid at all, but I tell you, he runs much bigger than he is. He's not afraid to stick his nose in, and we've talked a couple of times already about how hard-nosed this Cullman bunch is, and they're not afraid of contact, and they're not afraid to get in there and fight.
And that's their history.
Exactly.
I mean, you talk about Cullman football, and you hear about just how hard they play. Game in, game out, and we're seeing it here tonight. They do give him 4 yards on that play, so 2nd and 6. One back, 3 wideouts near side. Looking to throw is Crocker, and instead it's over the head or out of the reach of the intended receiver, again trying to get it to Crenshaw.
Well, they were setting a screen there, Graham, and I believe the lineman allowed those guys to come through a little bit more quickly than the play was designed, and the quarterback rushed the throw and overthrew it there.
Yeah, there is a bit of a timing delay as a lineman, and I can speak from experience, having let go of my defender a little bit too early and hearing about it when I got to the sideline. So I know what that feels like.
And I was that guy you heard it from on the sideline.
Yes, you
were. That was
were.
my position. I coached the line, and I had to go over that a lot of times with the kids.
Pass downfield, intercepted at the 25, going the other way, looking for running room. And getting to the sideline, there is a flag down, but Xavier Shaw, I believe that is B.J. Oakley with the interception. We apologize, we've got some numbers that are duplicated. We got a couple of flags out there, but I believe Florence will maintain possession after the interception.
I believe you're right. I think everything came after the interception. But a throw into a crowd right there, Graham. There were a couple of white shirts, double coverage right there, and That would have been a tough throw to complete, and Florence gets the interception.
Crocker was under duress. Thought he had his receiver over the middle, and he did for an instant. It will be a block at the back on the return. So the Falcons will start this drive 1st and 10 at their 28, where they lead 10-7 with just over 6.5 minutes left to play in the first quarter. Been an exciting first quarter, first 6 minutes of this one.
Graham, I want to mention a guy over on the left side of the line for Florence. Chandler Brewer, 6'5", 310 pounds at that left tackle position. He's committed to Middle Tennessee State. And we're going to see him quite a bit. We're going to see them try to run behind him a lot tonight.
And let me go ahead and tell you, we do have a new quarterback. Derek Thurkill, a junior, is now in at quarterback, replacing what we assumed is an injured Blake Hawkins. And he missed on his first throw, 2nd and 10. He'll throw it again, finds his tight end, who's got running room, getting across the 35, now close to the 40. A nice pickup for Tucker Siegel. And a first down, and got to help your young quarterback along here. Give him some throws like that.
Absolutely. And Tucker Siegel is a guy with great size, 6'5", 225 pounds. He'll play wide, he'll play tight end.
And they look to throw again. Receiver is Barnett, and a flag comes in late, and we make it a late hit.
I believe we're going to get 15 tacked on to that one.
Out of bounds at the 48. Boy, Florence doesn't waste any time, do they?
They do not. They are right over the ball, and they're back at you in a hurry, sort of Auburn-esque about the way they're getting the plays off as quickly as they can.
It's almost become a contest to see just how quickly you can get a play run in between the ready for play and the snap. It is a personal foul. We're going to take a timeout. Florence leads at 10-7 over Cullman.
Hello, I'm Gene Solings.
And I'm Pat Dye.
You know, anytime you can get outdoors in Alabama and enjoy a day like this, it just makes you proud to be an American.
And speaking of being thankful, there's a program right here in Alabama called Forever Wild Land Trust that helps secure our public lands. So everybody has a place to go and get outdoors. Hey, don't just be proud of Alabama.
Get out and enjoy it. Forever Wild Land Trust.
At Baumhauer's, we're all about great sports, legendary food, and Southern pride. That's why we're serving up all your Southern favorites, like our tangy grilled fish salad, hot Bama brown, and our famous wings. And it wouldn't be the South if it didn't have a little kick, like a homemade gumbo and wild Gulf shrimp and grits. And don't forget our mouthwatering desserts like Bama Nana Pudding or strawberry shortcake. So call the gang and put a little South in your mouth.
Out of 89 Renaissance hotels in North America, the spa at the Renaissance Hotel in Montgomery was ranked #1 as of August 2014. Out of 358 Marriott hotels, the spa at the Marriott Shoals was ranked #1. 3 other spas on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail also rank in the top 7. Clearly, world-class golf and the best spas for 2014 are in Sweet Home, Alabama. Call 800 Marriott to find out more.
2014 marks the 75th year our state parks have served the people of Alabama. During this Diamond Anniversary, you'll discover special events to celebrate this milestone. Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here. Whether you like camping under the stars or staying at a resort lodge, the Alabama State Parks specialize in amazing family adventures. Let's make this the best year yet. We depend on our partners, and just like these folks here, you can be a partner too by supporting our state parks.
Visit a park today!
Well, it's the third possession for Florence. So far, so good so far for Thurkill. Easy for me to say, right? They've got it 1st and 10 inside Cullman territory, and they're adding to their totals, which is already over 130 yards.
134 yards on those possessions, and 6 of their 13 plays up until that, and you might want to add one there because I believe that one went for at least 9 yards, have gone for at least 9 yards, Graham. So they're having a lot of success on the offensive side of the ball.
Yep, Lamar Lee with a reception, 2nd and 1. Again, Thurkill in for the injured Blake Hawkins. And they throw a screen pass. That one didn't work. First time they've gone backwards tonight. And he had to loft that one to get it to his receiver. And that was Adams, and he'll lose about 7 yards.
And I believe, Graham, that was Connor Moon who made that stop right there, coming from his linebacker spot, came through and made the tackle in the backfield.
So another possession down for Florence. Third, and we'll call it 7 at the 34. Play up, looking downfield, caught, first down. And I guess you could say when your receivers are that wide open, it makes it a little bit easier. And Thurkill had a wide open man that time as tight end.
Well, there's that guy again, Tucker Siegel. And, you know, Coach Wallace said a lot of great things. He's got several D1 offers already on the table, hasn't committed to anybody, but he is a very versatile guy. He plays tight, he plays wide, good hands.
This time lobbed into the end zone, nearly a one-handed snag, but just out of the reach of Barnett. It'll be second down, but continue your conversation.
And Tucker Siegel, 6'5", 225. He said he's a great route runner. Said he does almost flawless routes, and that really helps the quarterbacks. No matter who's back there, they know where to look for that big guy, and he's a big target. And
Second and 10.
I believe, Graham, the guy that was on that previous route right there might have been Errol Thompson. I'm not 100% sure. But I do know there are 2 number 3s, and Errol Thompson is a guy who Coach Wallace talked a good bit about.
Thurkill again. Siegel's becoming his favorite target, and you can see why. He continues to have success going to number 89.
And I believe but I do believe this number 3 is Barnett, because I believe Errol Thompson plays on the defensive side of the ball.
We'll get it all figured out before the night's over.
That's the beauty of having duplicate numbers, you know, sometimes,
exactly.
Especially when both guys play.
We could be right, we could be wrong. We got a 50-50 shot.
That's right. That's right.
3rd and 4, ball at the 15. And somebody jumped, I think. It was the right tackle. And that's Ethan Burbank. So 5 yards will be marked off against Florence, which this hadn't stopped them yet. They have handled every 3rd down so far, with one exception, that of course being what set up the field goal.
And another interesting fact, Graham, sometimes when your backup quarterback gets in the ball game, you get conservative. And they have not been conservative at all with the backup quarterback in there. They've thrown the ball quite a bit. So obviously, Coach Wallace a lot of confidence in his backup.
This time way over the head of the intended receiver. And is that Siegel again, or is that somebody else?
I believe that was
actually that
number
is 19. Yep, that is someone who I'm sorry to say don't have on my list. So we'll check that out. So another field goal attempt will come up for Casarubias. This one from the 27, so it'll be a 37-yard attempt.
That was Dylan Frederick on the attempted reception there.
All right, I'll make a note on my roster, as that kick is long enough, but I believe it is good.
It is good.
37 yards. That's the second one for the young man that's a junior, Casarubias. And that gives the Falcons a 13-7 lead.
Well, I talked to Coach Wallace a little bit about the kicking game, and he mentioned this young man. He punts and plays kicks. And he said they had a lot of confidence in him, and they were not afraid to let him try field goals from pretty much anywhere on the field. He has a strong leg, and we're seeing it so far tonight. 2 field goals already.
I got to say something, and I see high school football all over the state. You do too. We have seen some fantastic kickers so far this season, and that is huge, especially at this level.
It really is. And Graham, you know, it's something that at times in high school football in Alabama, Georgia, no matter where you are, it is a lost art. There's not there don't seem to be the development of kickers that there used to be. And now, but this year, you know, we saw a game-winning field goal up at Huntsville. We've seen some great legs so far, and we're seeing another one here tonight.
In fact, both kickers, of course, Cullman hasn't attempted a field goal, but both did make the extra point attempt on their lone touchdown. So Casarubias will kick off. 2 men are deep for Cullman. End over end kick, again short at the 15. And this time running straight ahead goes Kofer. He wasn't going to go side to side this time.
No, he ran right into Deion Jones. right there. He made a nice hit on him and made sure he went down right there.
So with a shade over 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter, Cullman with her second possession of the night. Glad you're with us on Thursday Night Touchdowns. Graham Dunn, Mike Peacock with you here at Woodard Stadium. Beautiful facility. Man, I'm telling you, Cullman's got it going. All of their athletic facilities here are just marvelous. You said you played on that baseball field over there a long time ago.
Years ago, I played in that baseball field. Remembered looking over here at the football stadium.
I guess they fixed that mark that you left. 2-yard gain.
I wonder if the groove's still in the bench.
I don't know. We'll have to go. You didn't carve your name in it.
I did not.
Okay, just checking. 1-yard gain. As we take a look, somewhere in the darkness, there's a baseball field.
Right over behind the end zone over there, just up on the hill a little bit. I remember sitting in that first base dugout looking down at this football stadium and thinking what a nice stadium it was. And, of course, it's nicer now with the new turf they have.
And I think I see Ray Liotta coming out of the outfield bleachers there. 2nd and 8, very little running room. That play has been successful for the early part of this one, but that time Crenshaw nowhere to go. And take your pick of Falcons. We're going to give credit to number 93. That is
Malik Mansell. That's the big guy. He is the other captain on this defense in addition to Keaton Anderson. And he is going to Texas State. He's committed to Texas State. Great size, 6'3", 265, very active on the defensive line for the Falcons.
Am I right? That's Dennis Franchione's team.
I believe you're right. I believe you're right.
Who has a couple of former Alabama players who played for him. Coaching there as assistants. 3rd and 9. Slip screen and about 6, but they needed 8 as the pass completed. And it'll be a punting situation. Seth Donaldson with the grab. But Cullman will have to punt the football, our first punt of the night. And it'll come from the 31. Clock is under 2 minutes. And Cullman's got to figure out a way to slow down the Falcon offense. Even with their backup quarterback, they have been quite successful. And now we've got a timeout, I believe called by Florence. Their first timeout of the night. It comes. We're the shade under 1:40 left to play in the first quarter. But back to what I was talking about, one of the things that Coach Britton talked about was he was concerned, number one, about the speed of Florence. He was concerned about their ability to get in space, and we've seen why.
Absolutely. I mean, every time they've had the ball, you've seen not only have you seen a couple of big plays already, but you've seen near big plays. And usually when you have those early in a ball game, later in the game, those turn into big plays. And I know that's got Coach Britton concerned as the game carries on here and some of his players maybe get some fatigue going. Is Florence going to break another big play at some point in this game?
And we got our question answered about the backup quarterback for Florence. What would change? Well, not much.
Not much.
Turkill is doing the job.
They've probably actually thrown the ball more with him in there than they were with Blake Hawkins.
He is
6 of 9.
Wow. That's pretty impressive. So more than likely we'll see the punter here for Cullman.
And we saw Hawkins, running the ball quite a bit after that one long pass. And we haven't seen that run game out of the quarterback position since the backup came in.
It's an unusual setup. If indeed they're going to punt, they're not. They're going to take it straight ahead and get the first down.
That is a gutsy call at that position on the field. Very gutsy call.
Dalton Yerby, I believe, with the carry. I wondered what was going on there. Let's look at it again. He is not back deep enough to take the punt. And now we know why. And I think Florence didn't know what to do.
I think you're right. I think it caught them off guard. They had that short, it was almost the short punt position that you use when you're down deep in your own territory.
Like a
punting
pooch
out
punt.
of the end zone,
Yeah.
absolutely. And he just ran it straight ahead, actually ran over a Falcon to get that first down.
So new life for the Bearcats. At the 35, Crocker with a handoff. His favorite running back, Crenshaw, with a
Fumble.
carry. And the ball comes out, and I believe Crocker jumped on it. Way back at the 30. It'll be a loss of 5. But that ball rolled for about 5 yards before Crocker was there to pounce on it.
Well, the ball came flying out of there, and I'm sure, watch this ball pop out of here. Progress had just about stopped, and somebody gave a jerk right there and flipped the ball out. And thankfully, Crocker was there for the Bearcats to get on it and save the possession.
We do have a player down for Cullman, one of their big linemen laying on the 33. But one thing I want to mention about that play, there was a time when the ball was blown dead when forward progress was stopped.
Right.
Not anymore.
Right. You're seeing this more and more. When progress stops, they're given a couple of extra seconds before they blow that whistle. And right there, you know, I was expecting the whistle to blow. I'm kind of like you. And all of a sudden the ball pops out.
We will see what our situation is with our player on the field. And again, I'm sorry, I cannot identify him.
They are looking at his right ankle, are the trainers. They're going to try to get him up now, I believe, here pretty quickly.
That may be Ben Johnson, the left tackle, or is it 56? I'm sorry. We'll verify that. They do have him seated. You hope it's not too serious.
As the trainers do such a great job. You know, that's a crew that doesn't get mentioned enough, whether it's the high school or college level. They don't get mentioned enough for the job that they do.
It is Johnson, who is the left tackle for Cullman. He's a senior. Something tells me if he can put any weight on that, what looks like is going to be his
right ankle,
foot,
I believe, right foot,
he'll be back. Put a little bubble gum on it, tape it up, ready to go, right?
Absolutely.
I do want to mention one guy on that offensive line. That is Hunter Brannon, who is a young man that, if you know anything about Alabama football, the Britt family has sent several guys to play at the university. He is in that family, and of course, all those guys played here at Cullman, almost a family tradition here. And then on the other side, you've got a guy that is just a freshman, but Mark Britton says Tyler Nunley is his best offensive lineman. That's saying a lot about a freshman. He said he's got a lot of learning to do, but by the time he leaves Cullman, he's going to be a special player.
That's high praise from a coach like Coach Britton, who's been here so long and been doing it for quite a while.
So after the fumble recovery, 2nd and 15, the ball at the 30. We're under a minute to play in the first quarter. The Falcons bring a couple of extra men on the line, and somebody moved. Now, were they coerced, or will this be against Cullman? It looks like they'll walk backwards, will the Bearcats. And so a bigger hole for the Cullman offense.
I believe, Graham, it might have been Keaton Anderson who might have caused that play right there, as he ran up to the line of scrimmage as if he were coming on a stunt there. And I believe he caused one of those guys to flinch a little bit.
2nd and 20. Clock is moving. Crocker to throw, looking, running, another flag and a completion, but this one is probably going to come back, and now a late flag thrown out of bounds.
I believe you might have offsetting penalties here, because I believe at the end of the play there might be a roughing the passer call.
Offense, personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
Well, now this may be a case, Mike, where they mark off both.
They might do it, because that last one might have been considered a dead ball foul. I'm not sure.
But when it's all said and done, it's going to be a difference of about 2 or 3 yards. That offensive penalty taking place at about the 23.
And we did mention, Graham, the other number 3, Errol Thompson. He was the guy, I believe, who was guilty of that roughing the passer call.
They are going to say, wave it off.
Errol Thompson is a junior.
A little bit surprised about that.
And he's what J.B. Wallace calls a hybrid linebacker. He says he's sort of a hybrid guy. He can play the defensive line, come in there at end, play a stand-up end, or he can play back in an outside linebacker. So he's very active. He's just a junior.
10 seconds, they'll roll the clock. We'll see if Cullman runs a play here. And I'm going to bet they're not. I think they're going to let it run out. And that'll take us to the end of the first quarter. Well, Florence scored on all 3 possessions, 13-7. They lead it. Cullman with a kickoff return for a touchdown. But big news, as the starting quarterback for Florence is out for the moment. Back to Cullman in a moment.
0 down, 0% financing, 0 payments till next year. Versa 10,888 or $119 a month. Big 0 event at Jack Ingram Nissan. Absolutely 0 down, 0 financing, 0 payments till 2015. 10,888 Versa or $119 a month. Eastern Bypass, Montgomery. Don't buy a new car till you get a Jack Ingram price. JackIngramNissan.net.
Children's of Alabama has been taking care of kids across our state for over 100 years. The opening of the Benjamin Russell Hospital for Children allows even more patient care. It leads the country in technology and innovation, including 17 state-of-the-art operating rooms, an expanded imaging center, and the Bruno Pediatric Heart Center, just to name a few. Children provides the highest level of care in a loving, comforting environment. I hope that you or anyone in your family never needs to be a patient, but if they do, Children's is here for you.
Hard work, determination, teamwork. It can mean the difference between winning and losing. These are values that I teach my sons and players on the football field, and they are values we believe in at Wedemark & Keith. If you have been hurt, put my firm's hard work, determination, and legal team to work for you.
Wedemark Keith, because your case matters. Call 800-309-0500.
What is it about UWA? Is it the beauty of her campus? The feeling of being just the right size, world class, without classes big enough for the world? Is it the warmth of her people? They say there's something about this place. Maybe it's because this place feels like home. On campus or online, the University of West Alabama.
Second quarter about to get underway. A very good first quarter for Florence, although they only lead by 6.
Right, they're dominating offensively, 156 yards, total yards, to 41 total yards for Cullman.
And they need big yardage here on 2nd and 20. A little bit of trouble for Crocker, and the snap, and down he goes. Boy, that play just blew up from the start.
Well, Errol Thompson came in from that left side over there on a bull rush, and then Keaton Anderson was coming up the middle, and he really had nowhere to go, and he finally just surrendered, I think is a good word for it.
Yeah, that one had disaster written all over it. Another loss, 10 yards, now 3rd and 30 at the 15. I doubt we'll see Cullman be too cute here. They got to get to the 35 for a first down.
Might look for some kind of screen pass here.
How about a draw
play?
Yep. And that gains about 3, maybe 4. I believe that was Crenshaw with a carry. And another punting situation, second of the night for the Bearcats.
Graham, Errol Thompson is a good story for Florence. He's a kid, he's only a junior, but he played as a freshman, had a shoulder injury that put him out his freshman year, almost all the entire season. Last year he tore an ACL. He was playing on the offensive side of the ball then. Both of those years he was a running back. And this year is the first time he's been healthy in 2 years, and they moved him to defense, and he's having a lot of success in that hybrid linebacker spot.
Well, this time they will punt it. And it's a line drive kick. They'll kick it away from the receiver, and that's going to work out pretty good.
It really
is.
Takes
a Cullman roll inside the 40 to the 37-yard line. How about that?
Hey, that's like one of those punch and roll golf shots right there that you try to get out of trouble.
So a 1st and 10 for Florence. They thought they were going to have good field position. It's not bad at the 37-yard line, but they were hoping maybe they could be on the plus side of the 50.
And interestingly, Graham, since the backup quarterback has come into the game, Thurkill, they have not run the football.
Well, Johnny on the spot, right? And that might be why.
That may be why, yeah, absolutely.
Cameron Davis caught in the backfield. And I'm going to give credit to Hunter Brannon for the tackle for loss. And it is a loss of, looks like 5 on the play. And did we have a penalty on that play? I believe we did.
There is a flag laying there.
It's going to be a dead ball personal foul against Cullman. So the penalty wipes out the big negative play by the defense. And that's going to be a first down.
Actually, it's a little bit short of the first, is it not?
I believe you're right. It is second down, though, so second and about a yard and a half.
You went from second and about, I don't know, 18 maybe, to second and 2.
And trying to string out the play, nowhere to go is Adams. And he's going to lose 6, maybe 7 yards all the way back at the 40. And you could, again, take your pick of Bearcats. This is what I think Wallace talked about with Cullman. They're sound in their position. They know where they're supposed to go, and they're not fooled.
Exactly. They're always in the right place. And you know, that's what he was saying when he paid him that great compliment. He said, those kids are always in the right place. We can't find a spot to pick on.
Thurkill to throw. Flag is down. He has to run it. Nowhere to go. He'll lose a couple. We'll see what the flag is about. But give credit to Garrett Cornelius with a sack. This one will probably be
It is holding against Florence. Let's see if Cullman takes this penalty.
I think they're going to decline it, make them punt, but I'm not the coach. But that makes sense because they're in a 3rd, 4th and long. And so we'll see our first Florence punt of the night. I say we will. We've already had one fake punt.
You don't ever know in this game so far. Casarubias is also the punter for the Falcons.
And he stands at his 22. Caden Wynn is deep for Cullman. Side kick. Again, they kick it away from the return man, and that one's going to take a positive roll for Florence and die at the 23. We've got a timeout. Florence leading at 13-7 over Cullman.
I am Deborah Mitchell, a registered nurse and an attorney. At Grossman Law Firm, we practice Social Security disability law and only Social Security disability law. We have the medical and legal expertise to help you win your claim. Give us a call today and let us help you.
Relax, Carlos. With McDonald's, you can afford to win them both over.
Right now, you choose any 2 Big Mac sandwich, Filet-O-Fish sandwich, or 10-piece chicken McNuggets for only $5.
The warrior spirit, it's in there. Always has been. Now let it out and take the world by fire. Train well and learn what it means to be a Troy Trojan. Walk with confidence. Conquer, claim territory, and climb ladders. Discover your inner warrior. Succeed in business with a degree from Troy University. For details, visit troy.edu/spirit.
I am Deborah Mitchell, a registered nurse and an attorney. At Grossman Law Firm, we practice Social Security disability law and only Social Security disability law. We have the medical and legal expertise to help you win your claim. Give us a call today and let us help you.
Well, Raycom Media would like to thank the Alabama National Guard, the Army National Guard, for their participation in tonight's event and for supporting our closed captioning of this broadcast. You can go to www.nationalguard/al.com for more information. 1-800-GO-GUARD if you'd like to make the phone call. Graham Dunn, Mike Peacock. 1st and 10, Cullman. And that one narrowly intercepted.
Wow, that was so close.
Dawson Drake was the intended receiver. But it was almost, I was going to say, D. Smith almost had a pick.
D. Smith made a great break on the ball right there. And if he catches that football, I believe it's a pick 6, no doubt.
So 2nd and 10. Ball at the 23. 9 minutes to go here in the first half. We had 14 points scored in the first 40 seconds. Crenshaw left side. And he'll get it across the 25 up to about the 27. It'll be a 3rd and long for Cullman. And I believe that was Malik Jones with the tackle on that play. Well, I tell you what, Florence, everywhere you look, they've got guys who college recruiters are just salivating over.
Even their young guys. They got some good-looking younger players as well. So they've got talent all over the field.
Setting up the screen, and it's a slip screen, but Florence is all over it. Mason Goodwin the reception, but right there to bring him down, I believe that was number 30. We will check that, but it is Jawan Thompson. And that will be a 4th down for Cullman. They're going to need about 3.5 for a first. Make it 2.5 as they mark it at the 32. So now what do you do? We've already seen one fake punt by Cullman. Why not another? This time they only need 2 yards.
And they're taking a lot of time here. Play clock is down to 6 now.
I got a feeling we might see a timeout, and that's what we'll get from the head coach. Mark Britton calling the timeout. It comes with 7.5 minutes to play in the first half. We just mentioned our Army National Guard and want to bring up what we know today is all about, this being 9/11.
Absolutely.
And we've talked about it a lot all during the day, memories of what that day was like back in 2001. And I know a lot of people, their minds and thoughts, prayers, everything are going towards folks who were affected
absolutely.
by the tragedy.
And I got a guy I go to church with, Graham, who was supposed to be in the World Trade Center that day, and his meeting got rescheduled, and he ended up not being in New York when that happened. And you talk about somebody who feels blessed that he wasn't there, but that's something else. I can remember that day vividly. I had about 20 people in my office on the campus of Columbus State University because I had a TV in my office with an antenna, and we were able to watch some of the news coverage. And it was just an amazingly sad day, but an amazing day in the history of this country.
And it does allow us to show appreciation to our firefighters, to our police officers, not just the ones in New York and in Washington, D.C. and whatnot. We can do it for everybody. They are going to go for it on 4th down, and I think they might have got it, or did the ball come out? I'm seeing beanbags thrown.
There's beanbags everywhere.
And again, Britton rolling the dice. This time, though, it may not come up the way he wanted.
A lot of guys with white shirts pointing the other way. Let's see what the officials say.
I'm going to bet you whether or not Cullman recovered it, that he does not have enough for a first down, but let's wait and see. And he needed to get beyond the 33, and that ball is sitting dead on the 32. So this should be Florence football. In fact, Cullman's already sending their defense out on the field. Let's take a look again.
I don't know where the ball popped out. There's such a scrum there, you can't tell where the ball popped out.
That might have been a center exchange that caused the problem. But they're going to be well short.
Yeah, they're going to be a yard short.
And this is a good move by the officials. It just lets everybody know, hey, we're not just calling it like we see it. We've got the chains out here, and they show everybody that indeed it is first down Florence going the other way, and in excellent field position at the Cullman 32. Well, I think Mark Britton kind of showed you something there. He feels like he's better off keeping that Florence offense off the field as much as possible.
And he wanted to sustain something there with his offense, keep Florence's offense off the field. And, it never hurts to try, but you sacrificed some field position there with that.
Roland Adams and the Wildcat. He'll take it himself, gets a nice block. A flag is down as he gets to the 30, and more than likely that'll be a holding call. And there's our guy, Justin Patterson, who was ready to make the tackle, and somebody tackled him first.
Yeah, I believe he sort of got pulled down there before he had a chance to make the tackle in the backfield.
Not what J.B. Wallace wants. When you get great field position, your first play, you're going backwards.
Right.
So instead of 2nd and about 7, it's now 1st and about 23.
Yeah, you have to remember that holding call is a spot foul penalty, and it took place well in the backfield, so that's a long penalty.
Ball at the 46. Clock moving. And quick pass to the 40. Complete. And we might as well just go ahead and start the tape. Tucker Siegel with the catch. I'm guessing, 6 catches already in this game? We'll check our statistician.
He's got several, that's for sure.
Florence right back up there again, second and about 20. That is 5 catches for the tight end. Cullman in a 3-3 set. They'll run 6 defensive backs most of the night, as we've already seen. Adams, the lone setback for the Falcons, and has the handoff coming left side and grabbing him by the jersey and bringing him down. That is 34, Blake Purefoy.
Yeah, that's a nice play right there. You know, back in the day, in the old tearaway jersey days, he would have still been running right there, but not anymore.
Nope. Of course, the tearaway jerseys were made illegal in about 1980.
Yeah, they were.
When we were in high school.
Yeah, back in the day, though.
That was back in the day. Don't make me feel old. Come on. 3rd and a bunch. Thurkill to throw. Looking. Nowhere to throw it. Receiver comes back to get it, but it is short arm. A late hit, but I don't believe they're going to throw the flag. As the pressure applied by Garrett Cornelius, and we'll see if Florence, they got a long way to go for a first down. Do you try a pooch kick here?
I think maybe you try to pin them deep here. I think that might be the best strategy in that, and we do see the punting team coming out now.
That will be the case, as Casarubius will come on. He'll stand at his 45.
And we'll see if he'll punt this downfield toward the receiver, or if he'll try to aim it toward a corner here and get it out of bounds inside the 10.
Caden Wynn is deep for Cullman, standing at his 10. He'll take his time and kicks it high and not very deep, but effective. Good roll inside the 15 to the 12, and we've got a timeout. 13-7, Florence leading over Cullman. We'll be back to Woodard Stadium after a quick break.
Two-thirds of drivers who died in car crashes chose to ignore this warning. Seatbelts save lives. Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
If you're involved in a car crash where a driver's been drinking,
you're 4 times more likely to die.
More people die when it's DUI.
A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
Derek, what's with the scrubs? Shh. She's going for it. It's gonna work. She's going for the burger.
Stand back, everyone. I'm a doctor. Look, I got it. I'm a doctor. I got it. Jack, for more.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That changed my life.
At that moment, it hit me. This is why I joined the Guard. We're soldiers, always ready to protect our country. But we've also got communities. Family, friends, neighbors who count on us. I couldn't believe it. I just saved a life to somebody from my hometown.
See what it means to be a citizen soldier at NationalGuard.com.
This week we're looking back through the pages of history. Old French forts, old Spanish cannons, and a Mobile neighborhood coming back to life. We'll also swing open the vault and visit a man who's bringing old windmills back to life. And from swinging windmills to swinging your partner, relive a page of Huntsville history. Plus, a visit with a modern-day man named Cotton. Take a ride through the Marshall County countryside, a ride that's absolutely Alabama.
13-7 our score, 5:54 remaining in the first half. I don't know if it's Cullman's defense or Florence's offense, but we've seen a change here as the Falcons really gave up a great scoring opportunity there. They had the ball deep in Bearcat territory and get nothing out of it. Of course, they hurt themselves with some penalties.
They really did, but you know, Graham, we talked about how many of their plays early in the ballgame had been for 9+ yards. Since then, in that second quarter, a majority, I think, of their plays have been for negative yards. 4 of 8 plays, negative yardage in that second quarter. So, you know, it's like you said, either Cullman's defense has figured something out, or injury to the quarterback has become really big.
Pass incomplete, and nearly coming back to get the football is Owen Lovell. It'll be 3rd and 8. Yeah, minus 4 yards rushing for Florence.
Right.
Since the quarterback change again, Hawkins goes down, we think, with an injury to his wrist.
Right.
And they're playing their backup at Thurkill.
And we talked about Thurkill coming in the first, 9 plays he was in the ball game, they threw the football. They've tried to go to the rush since then, and they've not had hardly any success running the football.
And, you know, maybe giving it away. Tucker Single has been his target just about every time. And I got a feeling that the Cullman staff has figured that out. 3rd down. They need 7. Pass over the head of the intended receiver, as Michael Al-Tijali was the intended receiver, but another punting situation as all of a sudden the two offenses being stymied here.
He ran a little sit-down route right there, Graham, and he was open, but the pass was just a little high, and could not make the catch there. So Cullman had that play, but just couldn't execute when they needed to.
Cullman has tried a couple of fake punts, or I should say they've gone for it on 4th down twice. This time, though, they will punt it, and that kick is about as ugly as it can get. And Dalton Yerby is quite frustrated after what looks like to be about a 15, 20-yard punt.
It was off the side of the foot, never had any height, and you know, just it was a rushed punt. They were in a short punt formation like they were earlier, and when you do that, you do away with some of your time to actually execute the punt, and got in a little hurry there and hit it off the side of his foot.
So only 22 yards on that kick, and once again, good field position for Florence, this time at the 36. Thurkill is the quarterback, 2-back set. Adams, fake handoff, and Thurkill has about 8.
A nice read right there by Thurkill. That's what we saw in the first quarter from the starting quarterback. A couple of nice read options right there, and that's what he did. He just stuck the ball in the belly of his back and read it and saw the hole open up, took it, gained 8 yards. So a good positive play for Florence after a lot of negativity lately.
Sam Caligaris with that stop. 2nd and 2, the ball at the 28. That is a backwards pass, and that's a fumble, and it should be Cullman football. Let's see if they make the call. Now I am in the press box, but that looked like, and it was a backwards pass, and there's your turnover.
I agree with you. I saw that in the as soon as he did it, and I said, I think that was backward. And
all you got to do is look at the running back in this case. Yes, there's no doubt about that.
Definitely.
1 or 2 yards behind, and Adams incorrectly gave up on the pass, and that allowed the fumble recovery for Cullman. So new life for the Bearcats. They're out of the shadows of their end zone, now at the 33-yard line.
I didn't get the number of the guy who recovered the fumble, but a heads-up play by that, I believe the corner on this right side over here, a heads-up play to jump on that football and get the turnover.
We got a timeout on the field taken by Florence. If we can look at that one more time, maybe we can check out and see who did come up with a fumble, but that's one of those plays, you know, your coaches say, don't stop till you hear the whistle blow.
Absolutely.
And it ended up costing him. Let's check it out one more time and see who comes up with a recovery for Cullman.
But Roland Adams kind of gives up on it here. Number 37 there for Cullman.
Yeah, it's going to be Zachary Glenn.
Zachary Glenn, heads up play right there, jumping on that football. And the whole sideline erupted for Cullman there, knowing they had a turnover.
And let me give credit to the officials. They
Absolutely.
did not blow the whistle, knowing that could have been a backwards pass. And the one who is really tested there is the head official, the white cap, in the offensive backfield, because there's always just a nanosecond to blow the whistle, and then it becomes an inadvertent whistle.
Right.
And then you got all kind of problems. And that's one of the things as an official that I used to hear about, never have an inadvertent whistle. That's why you don't leave. Football officials, unlike any other official that uses a whistle, do not leave their whistle in their mouth during a play.
Right. Basketball officials do. Because they have to.
And you as an umpire used a whistle too, right?
Yeah,
in baseball.
that's how I called strikes.
Yes. 1 toot was a strike, 2 toots a ball. 1st and 10 at the 33. Let's see if the offense for Cullman can get going. And there's a bit of a positive play. It goes to the left side. And I believe that was Crenshaw with a carry, and he got about 3 yards.
I tell you, I'm impressed with Crenshaw. He seems to find little nooks and crannies to get positive yards. You know, I thought that play was dead in the backfield. And next thing you know, he's gained 3 yards. I mean, he found a little crease there and just sort of wriggled his way into it and got some positive yards.
We'll call him a workhorse. Actually 2 yards on the play, 2nd and 8. Pass complete at the 40, and down immediately is Mason Goodwin. Pickup of about 5 yards.
Nice reception by Goodwin there. He knew he was going to get hit. You know, you throw that pass in that area of the field, you know you're going to get hit, and he held on to the ball. Nice grab.
Ben Cook with the tackle. So a conversion down for the Bearcats, 3rd and 4. Actually, they need 3 from the 40, straight ahead, and oh my goodness, meet the bear claw.
Yes. That's Malik Mansell. He just had those big arms out, all 265 pounds of him, and made sure that play wasn't going anywhere.
So no gain on the play for Will Crenshaw. So what does Coach Britton do here? You don't know. And that's part of the reason why you do this sometimes, and they haven't been hurt by either one of the either going for it on 4th down or the fake punt.
Well, you know, there's a lot of gamesmanship going on by Coach Britton tonight. He is really making it hard on that coaching staff on the other side of the field to figure out what he's going to do. I mean, if you can do that as a coach, if you can keep that in the back of their mind, that's a good thing.
So timeout taken by Cullman. That's the 2nd time he has let the play clock go to 0. So let's go down to the field. I believe, we're going to check just a second. There's 2.5 minutes left to play. Let's go and, for the first time, visit with Michael Llewellyn on the sideline.
I'm here with a good friend of Raycom Media, Randy Jinks with the Alabama State Parks. And, you know, on these Thursday night touchdowns, as we travel the state all over north, south, east, and west, every time we're near a different state park. How many state parks do you guys have?
We got 22. We've got one just down I-65 south from here near Warrior, Rickwood Caverns, one of our cavern state parks. So far we've been fortunate enough to have one in every area that you picked the game. So we've got a good game tonight.
I think it's a very good game. So if somebody wants to find out more about state parks in Alabama, what's the best way to find it out?
They need to go to our website, which is alapark.com.
And you got a new app?
Yes, we got a new phone app that we'd like for everybody to go to our homepage. We got a lot of icons on that phone on our webpage. You can click on it, and it takes you to the page where you can download the app. It's powered by Pocket Ranger, and it's good for iPhone or Droid phones.
Great. Let's go back to Graham for the action.
All right, Michael, thank you. Yerby this time does punt, and it goes out of bounds around the 30-yard line. That is where Florence will set up shop, 1st and 10.
A little better kick that time, although a very low kick. You know, it's that rugby style or that Australian rules football style kick right there. They got the ball down the field, depended on the roll a little bit, and a much better kick that time.
30 yards on that punt. Ball resting at the 31-yard line. 2:28 remaining in the first half. Boy, after an incredible start to this game, we've kind of hit a lull. Both offenses struggling a bit, and as I say that, there's that man again. And the first down across the 40, close to the 45. That's who Thurkill has thrown to just about every time, and why not? He's had success with it.
Well, you can see him. You know, if you're Thurkill, he's a big target out there, so he's easy to find.
Another handoff, another
nice
loss.
Play.
Roland Adams down again, this time a loss of 5, and that goes back to that stat we gave earlier, Mike. The running game just not working for Florence.
Right, that time it was Bailey Comstock who was all over that play and all over Roland Adams right after he got the handoff.
So 2nd and 16. They'll run the screen. Far side, and that's a positive play as Lamar Lee gets up close to the first down marker into Cullman territory. He'll be a yard short of a first down, actually less than that.
We've
so
seen
a 3rd and 1 coming up.
Graham, we've seen both teams run that play several times tonight, and that's the first time it's had a lot of success with it.
And a real quick timeout taken by Mark Britton. You almost feel like you're watching a basketball game.
Yeah.
You want to stop the bleeding if you're watching a team knock off a few points, in this case yards, and Britton uses his final timeout of the half, and it comes with 1:25 to play in the first.
A very strategic timeout right there. He saw some momentum building for Florence right there, and he wanted to kind of quell it a little bit and call that timeout, make a little adjustment on the defensive side, and get back to what they were doing a few minutes ago when they were pretty much stopping everything Florence was trying to do.
Of course, coming up at halftime, Michael Llewellyn will have several guests. We'll also take a peek at both bands for Cullman and Florence, so stick around for that. 13-7. And just taking a look at the region standings. Of course, it's early, and this is Cullman's first region game, but my goodness, there's not an easy out in that group.
I mean, you look at those teams in there, there are a lot of good football teams in that lineup right there. Hartselle, there every year. Decatur, strong team. Florence, Cullman, Muscle Shoals, who Florence was able to defeat last week, but a good football team. Athens and Austin, all of those have been around, and they've had a lot of success in their programs.
Cullman, 9 consecutive bids. That is a first down, by the way, for Florence. But Cullman knows what it means to go to the playoffs. And even though, as Coach Britton told me earlier in the week, he's young, they still expect to be in the playoffs.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
But they got a tough road to hoe. Their first year, by the way, in 6A. They've been a 5A program forever. 1st and 10 at the 45. Thurka will throw the screen pass again. It is collected, but it'll be a minimum game. In fact, maybe a loss.
I believe it's going to lose a couple of yards.
I believe that'll be Jalen Russell with a catch. It'll be 2nd and 11.
And that was that guy, Blake Purefoy, again over there, making sure that play didn't go anywhere.
Actually, that was Roland Adams, I beg your pardon, with a catch. They've kept Adams in check for the most part tonight.
So far.
He's gotten loose a couple of times. 2nd and 12. They throw to him again, this time running down the sideline, and it's over his head. And a 3rd down coming up for Florence. And this has been kind of the way that their offense has gone since the change at quarterback.
Right. I'm going to mention something right there, Graham. Bronte Harris got his head down a little bit right there, focused on tackling the receiver. If he keeps his head up, he might pick that ball off as he was coming from his defensive back spot.
But that goes back to the new ruling.
Right.
The spearing that we've talked about seemingly every week. No, you don't lower your head, but you can't hit them high.
Right.
3rd and 12. Thrakill throws it deep and almost intercepted.
It's picked off.
Oh, it is picked off. I beg your pardon. Going the other way. Crossing the 20. That is Yerby, and he'll get to the 25. I saw the ball come out, and I thought it might have gone to the ground, but instead it's in Yerby's hands, and another turnover, number 2 against Florence.
Well, I'm going to tell you, the guy that makes that play is Andrew Slocum. Watch, he's going to knock it up in the air, and Yerby is there to pick it off. Great coverage right there. He gets the hand up, knocks it up in the air, and here's Yerby, picks it off and gets a little return out of it, and Cullman has the ball again here before halftime.
Barnett was the intended receiver. Florence goes for the downs and pays for it. There's less than a minute to play. 1st and 10 at the 26. Draw play. Crenshaw again. He'll get about 5, maybe 6. And we've got a late flag, might have a face mask.
Yeah, I believe Keaton Anderson came and tried to make the play, and the back made a little cut right there. I believe he got a little face mask on that, and that's going to add some yardage to this play for Cullman.
Now, in high school, you have either the 5-yard or the 15-yard variety, unlike college where it's all 15 yards, so we'll wait for the call. It is a personal foul.
Yep.
That's the major distance penalty. So that will set up Cullman nicely, close to midfield. Ball marked at the 48-yard line. Keep an eye on the clock. 51 seconds remaining in the half. We'll see what the 2-minute offense for Ross Crocker in this Bearcat offense looks like. Trips to the near side, one receiver to the right. Crenshaw, the lone setback. And now we've got a quick flag before anything happens. And I think maybe somebody moved for Cullman.
course, in high school football, you don't get the number when the official makes the call, so we're not sure who was guilty there.
Well, we're going to assume it was somebody in the interior line. Somebody, once you put that hand down, you cannot move until the snap. Clock moves again, under 40 seconds and counting. Well, Cullman needs to get a little quicker here if they want to put anything on the board before halftime. Crocker throws out of bounds. And now a late flag comes in.
I was wondering. I saw the contact.
Yeah, Seth Donaldson threw his hands up and said, hey, what about that?
And I did see the contact, and I know it was early. And so I just didn't know whether they would consider that ball catchable enough to call the foul. But I believe in high school football, it doesn't really matter if the ball's catchable.
There is no such thing as an uncatchable ball in high school football. Now, we'll see where they mark it. Is it enough for a first down? It is not an automatic first down.
It is enough. They're moving the chains.
You're right. So a break for Cullman. There are 27 seconds left in the half. I don't know where their field goal kicker, how deep they need to get in order to try to kick a late field goal. Crocker will throw it deep, loading up. He's got 3 men down there. The ball is knocked away.
Nice play.
At the last minute. I believe that was Lamar Lee with the play on defense.
I believe that was, actually, I believe, is either Lamar Lee. Let's see.
We're going to check it again.
I believe that was Lamar Lee. I believe you're correct.
Lovell was the intended receiver. But they went for it all there and almost came up with it.
They really did.
2nd and 10 at the Florence 42. Cullman out of timeouts. They do stop the clock on a first down play. 17 seconds. They'll run the draw. And Crenshaw is stopped for a loss. And that might very well be the final play of the half. Cullman will have to snap it in a hurry, but I don't think they will even try, as the clock will hit 0. Do we have a player down? And it is Crenshaw. The clock has run out on the scoreboard. Crenshaw was in the bottom of that pile, and hopefully nothing more than getting the wind knocked out. They will attend to him at midfield. It is halftime. A good one. Florence leading Cullman 13-7. We've got our halftime festivities coming up when we return.
Do you want to know why Long Lewis sells more Fords than anyone in Central Alabama? It must be the price. So we clearly mark every vehicle with your best price right up front. There you go, plain and simple. I'm Jeff Cook from Alabama for Long Lewis Ford Lincoln, Highway 150 in Hoover.
Everyone from Huntsville knows that if you've been hurt in a car wreck, you call my attorney, Alexander Sonara.
You know who to call if you've been in an auto accident. Your attorney, Alexander Sonara.
In Athens, we all know that if you've been in a car wreck, you call Alexander Sonara.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, you know who to call. Call me Alexander Sonara. Remember, Huntsville, I am your attorney.
You know who to call. Your attorney, Alexander Sonara.
Meet Pete and Paul, twins so much alike, friends call them Pete and Repeat. But Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama treats them as individuals. Each gets a health insurance plan designed to meet his specific needs. One is a self-employed entrepreneur, the other working for a large company. After all, no two customers are alike, especially in Alabama. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama. We cover what matters. Find out how we can cover you.
2014 marks the 75th year our state parks have served the people of Alabama. During this diamond anniversary, you'll discover special events to celebrate this milestone. Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here. Whether you like camping under the stars or staying at a resort lodge, the Alabama State Parks specialize in amazing family adventures. Let's make this the best year yet. We depend on our partners, and just like these folks here, you can be a partner too by supporting our state parks.
Visit a park today!
Hi, I'm Jeff Cook from Alabama. Did you know that Long Lewis has won more awards for customer satisfaction than any Ford dealer in the nation? Now that's a Dixieland delight. Long Lewis Ford Lincoln on Highway 150 in Hoover.
Welcome to halftime, 13-7 Florence. Very exciting first half, great football. We're in our third week of Thursday night touchdowns as we travel the state. We've been to Huntsville, we've been to Center Point, tonight we're in Coleman. And while we're here, we like to show off these different towns and cities that we're visiting. And today we have a guest, Mr. Mayor Max Townsend, who hasn't always been a politician. He's going to tell us a little bit about himself and then come back and tell us about Coleman, Alabama. So welcome, Max. Appreciate you being, or Mayor, I guess I should say.
You can call me Max. That's fine. I appreciate y'all being here, first of all. Let me just say that. And it's a real honor to have you here.
Our pleasure. We've been treated great. It's been our pleasure to be here, besides a great first half of football.
Well, it's unusual, though, you know, when you're sitting in the stands and you hear one of the officials at a high school football game say, TV timeout. You usually hear that on college, you know.
Well, we're glad we're bringing this to the state of Alabama, and it's a chance for you to talk about Coleman and let the rest of the state know some of the things going on here in Alabama. But first, I want to know a little bit about you. I know that you started in pharmaceutical sales and had a long, successful career before you started to get into this. So tell us a little bit about you.
Well, for 35 years, I traveled in pharmaceutical sales, and I had never really been active in politics. I had been in a lot of civic organizations and things that I contributed to the community. I did graduate at Cullman High School. I spent 4 years in the United States Air Force, and then I got my college degree on the GI Bill. And so I've had a long career, and I'm in my second term. And when I ran for mayor, I knew that I could make a difference in the community, or I wouldn't have done it. And it's really an honor to serve this community as mayor.
That's awesome. So you decided, people talked to you, said you should run for mayor of Coleman, and you said, okay, I think I'll try that.
That's correct.
And you got some advice from the mayor of the team we're playing against tonight, the Florence mayor, that to start in politics, you got to go door to door and talk to people, and that's what you did.
I called the mayor of Florence, Bobby Irons, and his daughter was actually the superintendent here, Jan Harris. And so I got in touch with him, and he said, what you need to do is you need to go door to door, because you're going to meet people, and you're going to make friendships, and you're going to ask for their vote. And that's important. Always ask for the vote.
Well, that's great. So you were elected, and sometimes you got to be careful what you wish for. How's that been? Are you happy you were elected? Obviously, you've been reelected, but.
Oh, I'm extremely happy that I'm serving, because everybody doesn't get to serve as mayor, and it's a way for me to give back to a community that I love, because I had a profession in pharmaceutical sales. So to me, this is a vocation where I can give hope to the people of Cullman to know that they've got good government.
Okay, that's terrific. Well, what we're going to do, we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, I want to talk about some of the things that you and the team you work with are getting to happen in Coleman. Okay, so we'll be back in just a minute after this break with more with the mayor.
Active is an important part of a healthy lifestyle. Any exercise comes with the risk of getting hurt. Don't let an injury get between you and the activities you love. Let Alabama Orthopedic, Spine, and Sports Medicine Associates be the team that's working together to get you better.
Hi, I'm Dr. Gregory Galan. Back and neck injuries occur on and off the field. If you're injured, come see us. We'll get your back in the game.
Let our team help you recover your lifestyle. Call or visit AOSSMA online today.
The warrior spirit, it's in there. Always has been. Now let it out and take the world by fire. Train well and learn what it means to be a Troy Trojan. Walk with confidence. Conquer, claim territory, and climb ladders. Discover your inner warrior. Find success in teaching others with an education degree from Troy University. For details, visit troy.edu/spirit.
I'm Diane Bentley, Alabama's First Lady. Over 15 million children are exposed to domestic violence each year, and 10% of high school students are victims of dating abuse. Whether you are experiencing abuse or you think you know someone who is, it's time to speak out. The Alabama Coalition Against Domestic Violence can answer questions about safe dating behavior, as well as provide shelter to those fleeing violent homes. Call 1-800-650-6522 for help and a way out.
We've had Alpha Insurance since our first daughter.
And when we had quadruplets, we really needed Alpha.
Now we need our own insurance with great rates, fast claim service,
and a local agent we know.
And we want a company our kids and grandkids can trust.
Ask about Alpha's new legacy discount for homeowners.
Call Alpha.
Okay, we're back again here with Florence leading 13-7, and we're back with Mayor Max Townsend of Cullman, Alabama. And we learned a little bit about Max right before the last break. But now I want to talk to you a little bit about what's going on in this community and some of the things that you're proud of, that you've been challenged with, that you've accomplished. Let the people know some of the things that are going on here in Cullman, Alabama.
I guess as far as I'm concerned, working with the council and different organizations, when the tornado came through on April 27th of 2011, we had never been hit that hard with an EF4 tornado. And so we pulled together as a community. We classify our Cullman City as a city of character. And you know, a city is only as good as the character of the people that make up that community. And you saw that character come out. And then, and right after that, in 2012, we were voted the best city in the state of Alabama to raise children by Bloomberg Magazine. And we've had a tremendous success in industrial recruitment and industrial expansion. Just this week, one of our big companies here, Cash Acme, out of Australia, announced a $50 million expansion and an R&D center. So we've been very successful, and it's all about teamwork.
I'm not surprised to hear that, but what makes it such a great city, and how do you accomplish making it to get that recognition about it being a great city for families?
Well, I've always been big in education, and every time I get before the students or the student body or the faculty, I have a saying that education makes dreams come true. Our community has always been known for education, supporting of education. You can look around here and see our facilities that we have the support from the community. But I think it's all about hope. We have to give people hope. You know, it's not about me, it's not about Max Townsend. It's about giving people hope that they know that they've got the best government and it's going to do what's right to make Cullman the best place to live, work, play, and worship.
That's awesome. Now, in the last 6 years, what are some of the accomplishments? What are some of the things that you've gotten recognition? And we're going to talk a little bit more about some recognition with the principal of the high school. But what are some of the other things? Rock to South? What are some of the other things that this community has going on?
We've had so much going on. It's the concert that we have now. This is we just finished our third one. Probably had over 30,000 people. We've had entertainers like Hank Williams, Leonard Skinner, just top notch. And that's a big success. We have people coming in and bought tickets from like 15 or 20 states. And anytime you can do that, that's revenue for this community. We also have one of the biggest dams being built in the United States of America, and it's called the Duck River Dam Project. And it will be another lake that supplies us water. See, we're not on a body of water. We have to build our own reservoir. Okay. So this is our second one. We have one, it's called Lake Catoma, and the next one will be 7 miles out east, and it'll be a 640-acre reservoir that will supply water.
And that brings jobs, and brings recreation, brings tourism.
Yes.
That's the kind of project that works on many, many levels.
There's two things that to have a community to flourish and prosper that you got to have. You got to have water and you got to have sewer. That's the two things, because that attracts tourism, just like you said, that attracts new industry, and it helps older, established, expand.
Okay. And can you give me anything that's on the horizon, anything you're looking forward to, or continuing progress, or what else are you looking forward to?
We are constantly recruiting, but also we're in negotiations to build a Bass Fishing Hall of Fame here off of 222. And that's a project that we're looking forward to. That's tourism. There's probably 50,000 cars that go down that interstate daily, and that'll give them something to do. It's not only a Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, it's a bass fishing educational. Kids can come over from all around the world, learn about conservation, clean water, taking care of our forests and rivers and streams. They can learn how to fish, learn about boats, learn about motors. It's educational.
Great. One more thing to tell our viewers about Cullman, and then I'd like you to introduce us to the principal of the high school. But, and I'm guessing that with the principal and the high school, what are some of the things that have happened in transit in terms of partnering, working together to make? I see a lot of construction. I know you have to be involved. The city has to be involved. This team too. Tell us what's going on in that arena.
When they need something from the city, they know all they have to do is pick up the phone and call. We've helped build sidewalks. We helped build the stadium. We're always involved, whatever they ask us to do. We've did homes that they bought for extra parking. We've demolished those. We demolished the old band room over here at the middle school. So anytime they need us, we're there for them.
That's terrific. And do you know somebody? You're going to introduce us to the principal in a second, but you could introduce us to the assistant principal if we'd asked to, couldn't you? Tell us about that.
Yes, I could. My daughter has worked with Dr. Elton Bolden for many years, and when he became principal at Cullman High School, he asked to bring my daughter over, Kim Hall, and she's here tonight, and she's the assistant principal at Cullman High School.
Fantastic. Well, let's welcome in Mr. Principal, Dr. Bolden. Good to see you. First of all, we're enjoying your hospitality. So, but you guys have worked together to make a lot of things happen, and we can see the construction. But tell us about this teamwork while I got you two together.
Let me just tell about this. I've known him. I was on the school board in 1992, and that's where I first met Dr. Bolden. So I can vouch for his integrity and his character and his love of education and the love of the students.
Thank you, Mayor Townsend. We have a great working relationship with Mayor Townsend and the City Council. They're very supportive of public education, and the extra funding and support they provide us allow us to provide our students and our families with an exemplary educational experience. And it's just not happening in all the cities in the nation. And so we're very blessed to have the kind of cooperation. And our mayor, a couple of years ago, Cullman was named the best small city in the state of Alabama to raise a family. And that was because of the leadership of our mayor and our city council. And I would like to think that it's also because we offer a great educational experience for our families. And that's a key part of having a great experience when you're raising a family.
I don't think anybody can deny what one of the things you look for when you're ready. What's the school district like? What's my kids' education going to be like? So that's a powerful anchor for any community.
And it's been an awesome experience for us. I actually moved into the community because of the city school system. I was not a native of Cullman City. And so I've raised my family here, and this is an opportunity now for the last 10 to 13 years I've been a principal, and it's been my opportunity to kind of give back and provide the experience for other students that my 3 children enjoyed as they came through the Cullman City school system. So that's a special blessing for me and a special mission that I get to enjoy.
You both sound so much alike. That's good for this city.
We didn't rehearse this.
That's good for this city, I have no doubt. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'd like to talk to you more, Principal, about some of the different awards, the construction I see going on, and some of the things you're doing here in the school district. So,
thank y'all for being here.
Thank you. We'll be right back after these messages. Stay with us.
Relax, Carlos. With McDonald's, you can afford to win them both over.
Right now, you choose any 2 Big Mac sandwich, Filet-O-Fish sandwich, or 10-piece chicken McNuggets for only $5.
This moment, it's been 40 years in the making. Passing the torch from father to son is why your family partnered with Regions in the first place. From succession planning to your first day as CEO, Regions shares your vision for moving forward. And at moments like this, that makes all the difference. Is your business at a turning point? Turn to Regions.
I love being a part of the faculty at UWA. The campus is so beautiful, and it's just the right size. World class, without classes big enough for the world. And my students are like my family. They say there is something about this place. I say It's because this place feels like home. On campus or online, the University of West Alabama.
If you have AT&T UVerse, a weird thing can happen when you turn on your HD TVs. Your UVerse internet connection will slow down, interrupt you. Not with Charter. With Charter, you get internet speeds of 30 megabits per second, 5 times faster than AT&T UVerse. So no matter how many TVs are on, your internet will never do that. Hey, AT&T, if you sell internet and TV together, shouldn't they work together better than this?
Welcome back. We're here at halftime. Florence 13, Cullman 7, and we're talking with Principal Bolden of the Cullman High School. And I'd like you to, we talked about some of the awards that the city has gotten, but so has the school. And I'd like to hear about what's going on with this school.
The thing that we're proudest of is our mission is that we want to inspire students to have a lifelong commitment to character and citizenship and scholarship. And if there's one thing that I would want to communicate to the community is that we try to provide a comprehensive experience for our students. That includes the academics, the fine arts, the athletics, and career and technical education. And our faculty and our students all work together to have a great experience in all of those areas. In particular, in the academic area, the last 2 years we have been listed by Newsweek as one of the best high schools in America in preparing students for college. And they look at graduation rate and ACT scores and participation in advanced placement classes to do that listing. And so we feel like we're giving our students a great experience in being prepared for college. But in addition to that, our career and tech program, our fine arts program are wonderful programs. About 75% of our students, we're a small community, and about 75% of our students are involved in extracurricular activities. So at the end of the school day, we have 600 or 700 students that are doing extra things to develop character and citizenship and scholarship. We have some academic groups. And so we really, about 20% of our students have a job, but 80% of them are doing things with the school after school hours. As you can tell by the crowd that we have, the great band that we have, they're an award-winning band. And so we have a lot of faculty members that devote a lot of extra hours in order to provide our students with the kind of experience they're getting. So we're very proud. Our students take advantage of it, our families support us, our government supports us, and our faculty does an amazing job of making sure that our students are getting the extra things that they need, not just what's going on in the classroom. And that's what I think makes us special.
Well, it sounds to me like that's the ingredients that it takes to make a special school system. All those things working together like you mentioned. One other thing while I got you, I noticed a lot of construction going on over there.
And we can go back to the city support for that. We have a great facility here. It's $1 million facility. And the next great thing is we have a $22 million building project that's going on site. And it's been a challenging year and a half because we're building it on site. And so we've shut down about 2/3 of our campus, and we're holding class in about 1/3 of our campus. But we did that so that we would not leave the downtown city area. We chose not to relocate to a different area, and it was kind of our signal that we wanted to support the city of Cullman by not moving away from the downtown area. So we're still within 1/4 of a mile, half mile of the city hall.
You guys sound like a model team. I mean, there's a lot of teamwork going on. We gotta send it back here in a minute. I thank you very much for the hospitality we've seen here today.
And I appreciate y'all for covering our game.
It's been our pleasure, so thank you. And this is a special place, you can tell. Okay, we'll be right back after these words. Stay with us. Thank you.
Jack Ingram Nissan's Big Zero event. 0 down, 0% financing, 0 payments till next year. New 2015 Altima, 18,888. Big Zero event at Jack Ingram Nissan. Absolutely 0 down, 0 financing, 0 payments till 2015. 18,888. New 2015 Altima. Eastern Bypass, Montgomery. Don't buy a new car till you get a Jack Ingram price. JackIngramNissan.net.
Everyone from Huntsville knows that if you've been hurt in a car wreck, you call my attorney, Alexander Sonora.
You know who to call if you've been in an auto accident. Your attorney, Alexander
In
Shannara.
Athens, we all know that if you've been in a car wreck, you call Alexander Shannara.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, you know who to call. Call me Alexander Shannara. Remember, Huntsville, I am your attorney.
You know who to call. Your attorney, Alexander Shannara.
My son is going to college. And I travel a lot. Will Legacy Credit Union still be convenient?
Of course. Legacy provides many free and convenient ways to manage your account, such as free mobile banking, online banking with bill pay, e-statements, and more. And with access to over 5,000 branches and 30,000 free ATMs throughout the nationwide co-op network, Legacy is always nearby. Make the most of your money, no matter where you are. Join today.
At Alabama Foundation Specialist, we know your home is your biggest investment, and it starts with a solid foundation. But sometimes changes in underlying soils can cause sidewalks, driveways, porches, and pool decks to shift and crack. AFS has a simple, inexpensive solution that lifts the slabs with expansive foam called PolyLevel. It's lightweight, adheres in minutes, won't wash out or shift. Don't replace it, raise it. For a free estimate, call AFS or go to afsrepair.com.
Both teams return from the halftime locker rooms. 13-7, our score, with Florence scoring early and often, but then everything shut down.
Boy, I tell you, the game got off to a fiery start. Lightning striking a couple of times in the first minute of the game. First, this long pass to set up the first score for Florence. It comes right there.
Second play of the game.
Second play of the game.
But then Cullman answers right back.
Bronte Harris. And we talked about it. The Red Sea parted, and he just ran through it and was untouched for the touchdown. 94 yards, was it?
It was, and then the interception by Florence. And that's been a big problem that Cullman has had. They've moved the ball in between the 30s, but then if they try to get deeper than that, the Florence defense stiffens. And then we had a couple of field goals by a young man who really made a huge difference in Casarubias. But the defense is the story in the second quarter.
Absolutely. The defenses for both teams just kind of took over, and the offenses have pretty much been kept at bay. Here's a fumble right here on the backward pass. And here's the interception late in the half. Ball batted up in the air, and a heads-up play by Cullman there to get the interception and have a chance to do something before the clock ran out on halftime.
I just realized that on that interception as the final play, and we'll have to check, by the way, on the status of Will Crenshaw, and there are some stats. Not a lot to look at, particularly for the Bearcats.
Well, neither team doing a really good job of running the football, and you can see Florence's defense is sort of dominated, only 57 total yards for the Bearcats of Cullman, and most of those yards that you see for Florence came in the first quarter. And, of course, we've talked about the quarterback for Florence being hurt, the starter.
Blake Hawkins.
Blake Hawkins going down early in the game, maybe the first running play that he actually ran the football. He went down with an arm injury, and the backup Thurkill has been in. But you look at Florence's possessions. The last 4 possessions of the half for Florence, they ran 14 plays, only gained 17 yards, and turned it over twice. So the defense of Cullman, in their last 4 possessions, 3 punts and an interception. So this has been a defense-dominated game after the lightning that we had at the beginning of the ball game.
But again, you wonder about Florence's situation with Hawkins going down early, and he got hurt on the third or fourth play of the game.
Their second possession, maybe their 4th play of the game. He makes a great run, I think, for 20 yards, and on the tackle he did something to his right arm. And he stayed in the ball game until he made his next throw. And when he made that throw, he had to come out of the ball game.
I believe that throw set up the touchdown.
It did.
Cullman will have it first, and they try the onside kick, and Cullman is ready for it.
Hey, give kudos to the lineman there on that front line. I believe that was number 59.
It's either Calvert or Blaylock as they come off the field. I believe you're right. It is 59, and that'll be Calvert. Caleb Calvert with a big recovery there, and Cullman is set up nicely here to start the second half.
Well, it's kind of funny that the first kick of each half has been an onside type attempt and given the other team really good field position.
Boy, these guys must have just gotten back from New Jersey or Vegas or something. They are really rolling the dice. Must have had some success wherever they went. 1st and 10, ball at the 46-yard line. Crocker will throw on 1st down, and he throws it deep, got a man open. It is caught inside the 20. That is Goodwin with a catch. 1st down, Cullman.
I don't know what happened right there, Graham. A little bit of a breakdown in the coverage for Florence, but he was wide open. Makes a nice catch, holds on to the football through the contact, and Cullman is set up inside the 20.
He got behind Lamar Lee. 1st and 10, 36 yards on that play. And on 1st down, a run of about, looks like 5 yards.
I believe that was
number.
Al-Dajali,
I believe you're
maybe.
right. And that makes me wonder.
And yeah, you wonder about Crenshaw now because he's not on the field to start this drive. And you know, he was injured on the very last play of the half, and we were wondering if we would see him.
But Dajali does get several carries in that backup role, so it's not that unusual to see him on the field. They'll throw one. It's the screen pass. It's complete, and it may be enough for a 1st down.
I believe it will be. It'll give them a 1st and goal around the 6 or 7 yard line.
Goodwin again. He's had a good start to the second half. It is 1st and goal at the 6. So Cullman trying to take advantage of great field position after the onside kick attempt by Florence. And lo and behold, they could take the lead here.
They could.
You can believe that.
It's amazing.
Ball at the 6. 1 wide out near side. 2 back set. Or are they in the Wildcat? They're in the Wildcat. That is Harris. He'll take it to the 2. And we've seen that a couple of times. Both of these teams have run that Wildcat, and that gains 4 yards. I believe that was Murphy on the tackle, but not before a nice gain on 1st down. Well, Cullman has not been shy about showing different looks, whether it be offense, defense, or special teams. And for the most part, they've worked. 2nd and goal at the 2. Late handoff, and that one's going nowhere. Justin Patterson, let me back up, Brandon Calvert. I believe that was Calvert. No, I beg your pardon, that is Patterson, who doesn't play much on offense, but he gets the handoff there. And did we have a flag, or did they just stop the clock momentarily?
Not sure what happened there.
They do move the clock again. Now 3rd and goal, this time from the 3, and Patterson's still in as the up back. Crocker in the end zone. That one's up in the air. Did he catch it? No.
He did not. I tell you, the ball was batted up. The defensive back got a hand on it, batted it up, and Purefoy there, I believe, is who that is, didn't give up on the play. Almost caught the ball before it hit the ground, but couldn't quite get his hands on it.
Britton thinks and then decides to send in the field goal unit, which I think is a smart move. You get an advantage of field position, or did he? Well, let's see what happens. There's Crenshaw, by the way.
Crenshaw is back. He does have a freshly wrapped ankle, it looks like.
And they will go for it.
They will go for it.
They need 3 yards. Crocker. Crenshaw running hard. Did he get there? Yes.
He did.
Touchdown, Cullman. And believe it or not, after being stymied for most of the first half, they've got a chance to take the lead with a point after attempt.
I tell you what, you got to take your hat off to Crenshaw right there. You can tell he's limping a little bit, but he's going to make contact right about the goal line. That's number 11 for Florence.
D. Smith.
D. Smith. Big collision right there about the goal line, but Crenshaw stayed afloat, got into the end zone. They're going to go, or no, they're not going to go for 2. I thought the quarterback was there, but that's not him.
Well, you never know with this team.
Absolutely.
It's a possibility. But this would give Cullman the lead. The kick is up. And it is good. How about that? 14-13. Cullman with a 1-point lead after their first possession of the second half. Back in a moment.
Red hot
truck sale. Glenn Smith in Opelika has over 200 trucks in stock. Full-size trucks, small trucks, light duty and heavy duty. Two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, over 200 trucks in stock with $750,000 in discounts. Plus 20 financial institutions ready to lend today. $7 million in finance money available. Red hot truck sale only at Glenn Smith Chevrolet Buick GMC in Opelika. On the web 24/7 at glennsmithchevy.com.
Apply, sign, drive. Isn't that what you want to do when you get your next auto loan? At Army Aviation Center Federal Credit Union, that's how we take care of your auto loan. Apply at a branch, online, or with one of our preferred dealers. Sign your loan papers without a long wait. Drive your new car, truck, or SUV home. See our loan professionals today about your next auto loan. Not a member? It's easy to join, so stop by any of our 13 Wiregrass area or North Florida locations and find out how.
Staying active is an important part of a healthy lifestyle. Any exercise comes with the risk of getting hurt. Don't let an injury get between you and the activities you love. Let Alabama Orthopedic, Spine, and Sports Medicine Associates be the team that's working together to get you better.
Hi, I'm Dr. Gregory Galan. Back and neck injuries occur on and off the field. If you're injured, come see us. We'll get your back in the game.
Let our team help you recover your lifestyle. Call or visit AOSSMA online today.
Well, did you know that distracted driving is now the leading cause of all car crashes? One text or call can wreck it all, so keep your eyes on the road. Don't text and drive. That's a message from the Alabama Department of Transportation, reminding you to drive safe, Alabama. Well, how about that for a start of the second half? Kind of way we started the ball game. 7-play drive. It's 54 yards. Crenshaw with a 3-yard dive, set up by a great touchdown. Yeah, a great pass. A great pass. The first play from scrimmage after the little onside kick attempt gave them field position. 36 yards sets them up inside the 20, and the next thing you know, they're leading the ball game. So the Bearcats to kick off here with 9:38 remaining in the third quarter, now with a 1-point lead. They will pooch it, and right at the midfield stripe as it is recovered by B.J. Oakley. I tell you, Graham, they weren't going to give Florence a chance right there to make a long kickoff return, so that we really did have a copy of the first half starting there. A little curious, though, about that kickoff. Yeah. And it goes back to what we were saying. Mark Britton knows he's in some ways outclassed speed-wise by this Florence offense, although they've done a terrific job in this first half. The keeper, Thrillkill, and he gets about 3 up close to midfield. And it'll be a second, and we'll call it 8. As I checked the number, I believe that was Caligaris with the tackle. And remember that Florence has 2 turnovers in their last 7 plays, so Cullman trying to be opportunistic as much as they can. Yeah, and I think that has to do with Bearcat adjustments, as there's a run play. Adams breaks 1 tackle, and he's through the end of the secondary across the 35-yard line, first down. Roland Adams, they've kept him in check for most of the game, but his first carry of the second half, his biggest play. And Justin Patterson almost with a huge play for Cullman right there. He's the guy that made the initial contact in the backfield and just couldn't hold on to the runner. So 1st and 10 at the 35, 15 yards on the carry. He's got it again going the other way, and a flag comes in late. I believe that might be holding. Probably going to be a holding, and now there was Patterson again in the backfield to make a big play. Spencer White, the guard, may have been guilty. That's right around, he was standing right around where the flag landed. So 2 steps forward, 2 steps back for the Florence offense, and that's kind of the way it's been since the start of the game. It has, and you know, in the first half, we didn't call Patterson's name an awful lot. We highlighted him at the beginning of the broadcast, talked about what an animal he was on the defensive side. Here in the second half, he's already been in the backfield once for a near big play and again for a big play already here early in the third quarter. He puts a hand down on this near side. 1st and 25. Quarterback keeper, Thurkill. He's got about 10 and takes a flip as he gets to the 35. That'll be a gain of about 15 yards. Andrew Slocum with the tackle there. He took the legs out from under Thurkill. A little acrobatic move by the quarterback. I'm not so sure
that Coach Wallace wants to see his quarterback flipping in the air like that, not with one of them already on the bench with an injury.
That's true.
2nd and 10. They get back most of the penalty yardage back, and on 2nd down, they'll get a couple more. As they unpile, look like number 34 was there. That is Pureford. We've called his name a lot on defense so far tonight. Gain of, we'll call it 2. 3rd and a long 8. Cullman took their opening drive of the second half and scored their 2nd touchdown of the night. First one via the offense. Possession down for Florence. Looking to throw over the middle, intercepted at the 20. And down goes McMahon. Ethan McMahon, I believe that's the 3rd interception of the night.
Well, and you know, we just talked about it. Their last 7 plays, 2 turnovers. And this is just a high throw here. It sailed a little bit on Thurkill, overshot his receiver, and the safety was standing there for the interception.
Somewhat of an airmail on that one. McMahon with the interception. And Cullman back in business again, this time at their 24.
3rd turnover for Florence in their last 11 plays.
Wow.
Not what J.B. Wallace wanted to see, I can tell you.
Well, we talked about what Cullman would need if they had a chance. That's a big part of it, the turnovers. 1st down run. And it's Crenshaw who'll get 3, maybe. He was hit first. I'm going to give 93 credit. That would be Mansell. So actually it is a 3-yard game, so 2nd and 7. Crocker from the shotgun. That's where he's been most of the night. He'll lob one way over the head of everybody, and here comes a flag.
They may call defensive holding here, Graham.
Mike, I don't know. Again, it looked like that the quarterback was just throwing the ball away.
Yeah, it looked like, let's see what the call is going to be here.
I think it's going to go on Florence. I may be wrong. It is holding, and it is against
holding.
Florence.
Yep.
And the minute I saw the flag come out, I saw Lamar Lee kind of throw his hands up saying, what in the world? Because that ball was, again, there's no uncatchable pass in high school.
Right.
But that's just a break for Cullman because it was obvious that Crocker was just trying to throw the ball away.
Right.
So a big 1st down for Cullman.
I thought maybe
39.
I thought maybe it was one of those plays where they were just trying to throw it to a spot and the receiver wasn't allowed to get to that spot, and that's why the hold was called.
And that may be the case. A dive play. Crenshaw gets a couple. A little chippiness going on out there, but no harm, no foul. Jordan Dollarson on the tackle. It'll be a gain of a yard. 2nd and, actually, let's give him 2 yards. Well, they keep moving the box. Let's make it 2nd and 7. But you just said that. I mean, just a little while ago. That's the way Crenshaw is. He sneaks a couple of extra yards.
Yeah, he finds some little crack or crease or nook or cranny or whatever you want to call it and just slips himself into it and makes something positive out of nothing. You know, he's a guy, he's good at making lemonade out of lemons.
Setting up the screen, and that one
nice play.
Is eaten alive. Pass going to Seth Donaldson.
And that was Lamar Lee over there that closed in, read that play, and got there quickly to make a nice play for Florence.
We've got a timeout on the field. Cullman with a 1-point lead as we take this timeout. We'll be back in a moment.
Derek, what's with the scrubs? Shh.
She's going for it. It's gonna work. She's going for the burger. Stand back, everyone. I'm a doctor. Whoop. I got it. I'm a doctor. I got it.
Jack, for more.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That changed my life.
At that moment, it hit me. This is why I joined the Guard. We're soldiers, always ready to protect our country. But we've also got communities, family, friends, neighbors who count on us. I couldn't believe it. I just saved a life to somebody from my hometown.
See what it means to be a citizen soldier at NationalGuard.com.
2/3 of drivers who died in car crashes chose to ignore this warning. Seatbelts save lives. Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
If you're involved in a car crash where a driver's been drinking,
you're 4 times more likely to die.
more people die when it's DUI.
A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
I'm Diane Bentley, Alabama's First Lady. Over 15 million children are exposed to domestic violence each year, and 10% of high school students are victims of dating abuse. Whether you are experiencing abuse or you think you know someone who is, it's time to speak out. The Alabama Coalition Against Domestic Violence can answer questions about safe dating behavior, as well as provide shelter to those fleeing violent homes. Call 1-800-650-6522 for help and a way out.
Another 3rd and long for Cullman. They need the 49 for a first down. They'll look to throw. In trouble. Crocker will throw it away. And we'll see if he gets a grounding call. It looked like there might have been one receiver in the vicinity. He was in the zip code. That'll be Donaldson.
Yep, he had Seth Donaldson trying to come back toward that play and help out his quarterback, so that's going to keep him from getting the grounding call.
I want to go back to something we talked about at the break, though. The first downs, Cullman, I think, has 9, and almost half of them have come as a gift from Florence.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 of those have come by penalty, and you know, that's not something that you want to do when you've got a team. You're letting a team hang around if you're doing that, and Cullman has made the most of it.
Best punt of the night for Yerby. It's down at the 26. And so Florence will have probably about as long as they've had to go tonight.
I think so. I think this is the deepest maybe they've started a possession in their own territory.
5:26 left to play, 3rd quarter. If you're just joining us, we started with a bang. Florence opened with a 3-play drive, scoring their first touchdown. On the ensuing kickoff, Cullman and Bronte Harris, 94 yards to tie it. Couple of field goals for Florence late in the first quarter. Casarubias with both of those, and then here to start the second half, it's Cullman taking the lead after they get good possession on a attempted onside kick. Ronald Adams will take it for about 3.
Connor Moon with another big stop right there. He scraped across perfectly and hit Roland Adams on that direct snap to Adams. And they've got Adams running the offense now instead of Thurkill. He's at the quarterback position.
Yep, he'll take a direct snap, the running back will. And this time he'll try the left side, and somebody had a foot but couldn't hold on. And now he's free. Crossing midfield, look at the speed. Inside the 30, inside the 20, one man to beat. He's in the end zone. Wow. Touchdown, Florence.
And I'm going to tell you, Justin Patterson's going to have bad dreams tonight because he had Roland Adams in the backfield and couldn't hold on to him. And once he got loose, he just raced down the sideline and beat everybody.
He'll get credit for 70 yards, but Mike, he ran further than that because he reversed field.
He did, and you see there that Patterson had him and couldn't hold his leg. He gets loose and then just runs by everybody. And a nice effort right here by Roland Adams to stay on his feet and get in the end zone.
And last man was Chase Slocum trying to catch him before he got to the end zone, couldn't do it. And so Florence goes back on top. Will they go for 2 and make this a 7-point game? I don't think so. Looks like they will, or will they? Some would say maybe a little bit early to go for 2 here, but they will try it. They put the ball in the middle of the field. And now we've got a timeout. And I'm not sure, actually they're going to stop and adjust the football. Florence wanted it on this near hash mark to run for the 2-point conversion. And Thurkill is back in the game at quarterback. That last possession, there was no quarterback on the field for Florence. Thurkill looks to throw. He's got one bounced away, incomplete.
Are you kidding me?
Did that get caught?
Are you kidding me? The lineman, number 53.
Well, let's see. Was it batted in the air by a defensive player? That's the question. The officials are going to discuss it. It is good.
And that is Chandler Brewer. You know, we mentioned him early in the game. Watch this. It's going to be thrown. It's going to be batted around by the defense there. He has the interception, can't hold it. And Chandler Brewer just takes it away from it and falls into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. What a crazy play that was. We mentioned Chandler Brewer early in the game. He's a Middle Tennessee commit. Very good offensive lineman, and he gets a lineman's dream right there, gets into the end zone. Not a touchdown, but at least he gets to tell everybody he scored.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be calling the MTSU coaches saying, hey, put me in a tight end. I caught a 2-point conversion. Why not? How about that? 21-14 after that crazy play. But that just kind of goes along what we've had tonight.
Absolutely. This has been an interesting game, to say the least. It's very entertaining. A great TV game for our TV audience to watch.
Looks like Coach Britton getting an explanation from the officials. And the ruling there is very simple. First touching, if it's by a defender and the ball's up in the air, it's a free ball. Anybody can catch it. Now, had an offensive player touched it, it's a little different story, but that was not the case. So that's why it counts. And a 7-point lead now for Florence. And oh, by the way, they take advantage of that speed, and we finally see Adams get loose.
Well, you know, and it wasn't a true Wildcat they were running. They just put Adams at the quarterback position and snapped it to him and let him run the football. It wasn't exactly the Wildcat look that you're accustomed to seeing sometimes, but boy, does he have some speed.
Rubius will kick it to about the 12. And it's picked up and run back to about the 22, maybe the 23-yard line. As Caden Wynn with a return, it will be first down Cullman, who for the moment had the lead, and suddenly it's gone.
Well, and you know, you talk about Roland Adams, and something that J.B. Wallace told me when he talked about Roland Adams, he said he does a little bit of everything for us. He said you're going to see him on every special team. He runs the football, he catches the football, and lo and behold, he's at the quarterback position running out of that spot and runs a big, long touchdown, a big play for Florence to get them the lead back.
So 1st and 10 at the 24. Crocker with Crenshaw in the backfield. 3 wide outs to the near side, 1 to the left. He'll throw. Screen pass. Crenshaw has it. Tries to escape, but gets about a yard. As a couple of Falcons made him at the 25. I believe the first one to hit him was D. Smith. So it'll be a yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 9. But this is something that we've seen pretty much from the Cullman offense. They're making plays. They're just not making a lot of them in bunches for large yardage.
And, you know, Crenshaw is a little gimpy on that ankle or knee or whatever. I believe it's an ankle that he hurt there prior to halftime.
They try to set up the screen. Crocker's in trouble, and he'll throw it out of bounds. There is a receiver out there, so that should not be grounded. But now a 3rd and long, another one. It seems like every time we say 3rd down for Cullman, they've got at least 9 yards to go.
Well, Florence has turned up the pressure here. Those defensive linemen, defensive ends are starting to get a lot of penetration and get in the backfield. And we'll keep an eye on that and see if that trend continues.
Yep. 94 is in at nose tackle. It is still warm out here as Creighton Lynch is in the ball game. I call it humid. Of course, we had some rain showers before the game. Setting up the screen, complete, but there's the Florence defense again. This time it's number 41, that is Braden White. And now we've got a stoppage of play. We may have a penalty. Or did somebody lose their helmet? That's the case.
Braden White there, Graham, just a junior, but he's a 3-year starter for Florence. Started as a freshman. So this guy makes a good play here And he's a solid player mentioned by Coach Wallace on that defense and that linebacking core that features, of course, the Alabama commit, Keaton Anderson. So
trouble with a snap, and they'll have to eat it as Jerby goes down at the 15. Boy, the kicking game is just, it's been an experience and not necessarily a positive one for Cullman tonight. And I think he just flat out dropped it, Mike.
Right, especially punting the football. And I believe you're right, Graham. We're going to see that replay there. Just couldn't corral the snap. And that's a big play for Florence as it puts them in business in the red zone.
So already up 7. The Florence Falcons offense will try to take advantage of great field position. 3.5 to play.
And we have seen Cullman bow its back in the first half and hold Florence out of the end zone a couple of times. Made them try some field goals. Let's see what they can do here.
Adams again takes the snap and takes off up the middle. He'll get 4 down close to the 11-yard line. Looked like the tackle was made by Purefoy.
I tell you, if you're J.B. Wallace, you're using the if it ain't broke, don't fix it strategy right here. They got a big touchdown, a big play out of Adams the last possession.
Well, you know your big man here is going to run out of steam eventually, but he also believes, Wallace believes, if he can put another touchdown on the board, it might be enough. Adams this time will try the right side and slips through inside the 10 down close to the 8-yard line. Justin Patterson was there along with a couple of other Bearcats, but not before a gain of about 6 yards. So a 3rd, and we'll call it 3 at the 8. They need to get to the 5. But I don't know how many consecutive plays that Adams has carried it. 5 consecutive times. I mean, it's just basically student body left, student body right. Adams carrying it every time. Same thing. He sidesteps a couple of tacklers, now carrying tacklers with him inside the 5-yard line. He has another Florence first down, and here comes a flag.
Might be an unsportsmanlike there. I'm not sure.
Well, some frustration showing for the Bearcats. Either way, I believe it's going to be a first down.
That's going to go against Florence.
Let me back up. Personal foul against the Falcons. Now, it was a dead ball foul. So do they award them the first down, or is it 4th down? I believe they will give them the first down.
Right, that was a dead ball, so it'll be 1st and goal from, what, the 19?
Yep, which is kind of an unusual. You don't see that very often.
Of course, now, was it last week or the week before we had 1st and goal from like the 24 or 25?
It eventually ended up like
a penalty, after a holding penalty.
4th and goal at the 40.
Yeah,
I think
something like that.
Yeah, Centerpoint had to deal with a lot last week with Shades Valley, who, oh, by the way, beat this same Florence Falcons team in the first week of the season on a miraculous play.
Late in the ball game.
Yes. They do set the change, so apparently they can get a first down.
Okay.
This time the handoff. And going left and picking up about 6, maybe 7 yards. I believe that's Adams again.
It was Adams. They put Thurkill back in the game. They put him in to hand off to Adams. So.
Okay. I guess they didn't want him to take the snap anymore. 2nd and 3 after a 7-yard gain. His legs got to be getting a little jelly-like at this point. He has carried it a bunch here. And as I say that, they'll try somebody else. Somebody with fresh legs. That would be Cameron Davis. And Cameron has, I believe, enough for the first down, or at least he's very close.
Let's see what they do here. They're not going to measure, or are they? Nope, they're not.
So a 3rd and a yard. Cullman defensive front shifting. And Thurkill still in the game at quarterback. Minute to go here in the corner. Again, it's Davis this time. I believe he did get the first down. He needed about a half a yard. He gets a yard, so it'll be 1st and goal for Florence. And the one concern that Mark Britton had was letting that speed, letting that quickness, and again, getting in space and constantly having to chase these guys because you figure his defense is going to run out of steam. We're starting to see some of that.
It is, you know, and the turnover on the punt there, that failed drive, got Florence's offense back on the field and Cullman's defense back on the field a little quicker than they wanted to be.
So
with
first
and with their backs against the wall, by the way.
That's right. First and goal at the 8. Davis again, sweep, left side, sidesteps the tackler. Did he get in? Yes. Touchdown Falcons. 8-yard run for Davis. His first touchdown of the night. And the lead increases to 2 touchdowns with a point after coming.
A lot of blocking out front that time for Davis. A lot of white shirts in front of him. Cullman not able to catch up until the last minute and too late to keep him from getting in the end zone there. Well executed play for Florence. And they're going to extend the lead.
We got to give credit to a big lineman there. Robert Keith out there blocking for his running back. He pulled to make the big block. The extra point is through the uprights for Casarubias. 23 seconds left to play, and suddenly it's a 2-touchdown game, the largest lead either team has had tonight.
And here's this play again from a different angle. You're going to see the blocking out front. Graham, you said offensive line did a good job, just held him off long enough for him to turn the corner and get upfield into the end zone.
He doesn't need much, does he?
He doesn't need a lot. You're
just
right.
Just a little bit of a crease, and he's on his way.
Fresh legs there for him, too. You know, that after all those plays, consecutive plays, where Roland Adams ran the football, they finally got some fresh legs going.
What were we talking about? Florence struggling, running the football late in the first half. Well, you could throw that out the window.
Well, that's been reversed, hasn't it? They made some kind of adjustment there, found something they could attack, and
yeah, it's called Roland Adams.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they stuck him in. You say not the Wildcat. I'm going to call it the Wildcat because anytime a running back takes a direct snap and takes off, that's what I consider. He did not make one single handoff the entire time.
139 yards rushing on those 13 runs.
So the kickoff to the 7.
Ooh.
Harris already has 1 touchdown on a return, not this time. They'll be down at the 20 where Cullman will have it 1st and 10. All right, you got work to do. You're Mark Britton. Your offense has been stymied here in the second half, even though your biggest play, but it came from midfield.
Well, I think what you need here as a coach is to get your offense to take a deep breath, settle themselves, and go back to doing what they've been doing when they've had success. And we'll see if that happens here. Don't panic. Yes, we're down a couple of touchdowns, but it's not time to panic yet. It's not time to start changing everything. Let's stick with our game plan and see what we can do.
Crenshaw's in the backfield with Crocker. Crenshaw a little gimpy. Hurt on the last play of the first half. Crocker to throw. That one's tipped and in the air and then hits the ground, incomplete. I didn't see who made the initial tip on the play, but I believe it was a Florence defender. And right now they're just getting, they're getting a push on the line of scrimmage. They're not allowing any kind of separation with the receivers. It's everything going right for the Falcon defense.
Well, their athletes are making plays, Graham. You know, we talked about how athletic this team was and how many prospects they have. You're starting to see that come through now. On the line, they're getting that push. Their secondary is in the right place all the time, and they're using their speed and quickness to do that. And they're just not allowing Cullman to do very much right now on the offensive side of the ball.
Crenshaw will take it for a yard, and that should be the final play it is of this third quarter. A good one for Florence. They give up the opening touchdown, but then they score 2 themselves and take a 28-14 lead into the fourth quarter. We'll be back in a moment.
If you have AT&T UVerse, a weird thing can happen when you turn on your HD TVs. Your UVerse internet connection will slow down, interrupt you. Not with Charter. With Charter, you get internet speeds of 30 megabits per second, 5 times faster than AT&T UVerse. So no matter how many TVs are on, your internet will never do that. Hey, AT&T, if you sell internet and TV together, shouldn't they work together better than this?
There's so much to love about UWA. The campus is beautiful, and it's just the right size. And I love the new residence hall. I've made so many friends. They say, there's something about this place. I say, it's because this place feels like home. On campus or online, the University of West Alabama.
This is Big Jack Ingram Nissan's Big Zero event. 0 down, 0% financing, 0 payments till next year. Versa 10,888 or $119 a month. Big Zero event at Jack Ingram Nissan. Absolutely 0 down, 0 financing, 0 payments till 2015. 10,888 Versa or $119 a month. Eastern Bypass, Montgomery. Don't buy a new car till you get a Jack Ingram price. JackIngramNissan.net.
Children's of Alabama has been taking care of kids across our state for over 100 years. The opening of the Benjamin Russell Hospital for Children allows even more patient care. It leads the country in technology and innovation, including 17 state-of-the-art operating rooms, an expanded imaging center, and the Bruno Pediatric Heart Center, just to name a few. Children provides the highest level of care in a loving, comforting environment. I hope that you or anyone in your family never needs to be a patient, but if they do, Children's is here for you.
Welcome back to Woodard Stadium. We start the fourth quarter. Florence leading at 28-14. I can't help but keep doing this. Second quarter, Florence is doing absolutely nothing on offense.
9 yards.
Yeah.
9 yards of offense in the second quarter, and it's like they walked through a magic mirror. 139 yards in the third quarter. They're up over 300 yards total offense now. I tell you, they made some sort of adjustments at halftime, and they're working.
Again, Adams the key. Take a direct snap. He set up the first touchdown, actually scored the first touchdown. Another 3rd and long, and this time Crocker's down in the backfield. We'll check the number. I believe that is number 30, and that is Jawan Thompson with a sack and another punting situation for Cullman. And I don't want to take anything away from what this Falcons defense has done, because they have set up their offense with good field position.
They really have, and Malik Mansell was right there in that play too. And we've already talked about him, and Coach Wallace said he was the emotional leader of the defense for Florence, and he was right there on that sack.
Not a good sign for Cullman as they help Crocker off the field. We'll watch down here below and see what kind of situation we have with his injury. He would be the second quarterback to go out with an injury, as that line drive will take a Cullman roll inside the 30 down to the 33, where Florence will have it 1st and 10. 53 yards. It might be the ugliest 53-yard kick you've ever seen, but it's effective.
That's true. You got to feel for Crocker there. He had a lot of bodies, a lot of big bodies come down on him that time, and I believe it's an upper body injury, like a shoulder, or maybe they might even be checking him for something like a concussion. They're having a lot of conversation with him right now.
I'm gonna say that, or maybe he just got the wind knocked out of him. I know looked like he might have been limping just a little bit, but we'll check and see what happens. In the meantime, Florence has the football again. 1st and 10 at the 33. Two-back set. And Davis has become the workhorse here, as he'll flip over a defender at the 40 and the 42-yard line for about 8-9 yards.
And Roland Adams getting a little bit of a break here while Davis gets some carries. And but I think you're going to see a lot of this here in the fourth quarter. They're just going to run the football, maybe throw a pass every now and then when something is open, when they feel like they've set it up. And but I think you're going to see a lot of Davis and Roland Adams the rest of the way.
They're both in there with Thurkill. Davis again. Boy, he hits that hole fast, and he's off to the races. Inside the 30 to the 17-yard line, 1st down, Florence.
And that big offensive line for Florence is really doing the job now. Left tackle Chandler Brewer over there, I think he was a big factor in that play as the play goes off his outside there. And And another big play for Florence, just running the football. They have figured something out big time here since the second quarter.
Yeah, he broke a couple of tackles there. This time he's
not going to break that one.
Nope, he'll go down for a loss of about 5. I believe he was hit first by Patterson.
Yep.
So 5-yard loss. One of the few times we've seen Florence go backwards here in these last few possessions. Like we're having a helmet malfunction out there for either Davis or possibly, well, it is Davis. They set up again on 2nd and 15. Davis again, left side, flag thrown. He'll get 7, maybe 8 yards, but I believe this one will come back.
We had another flag in the secondary there toward the end of that play as well, so we'll see what happened with that. I believe this one back up here that was thrown in the backfield is going to be a holding call. We'll see what the other one was for.
It is a holding call. Actually, 2 holding calls.
2 holding calls.
More than likely, they'll take the one in the Florence backfield because that one will hurt the most. So now you're looking at a 2nd and Hansville coming up for Florence. I used to love it when Keith Jackson, doing games wherever he was, he would always get a little town in there somewhere. And for some reason, he always talked about East Tabuga. I have looked on the map. I cannot find an East Tabuga. I know it's somewhere near Tuscaloosa. Am I right on that?
No, it's near Talladega. It's
okay.
It's actually East Taboga.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt the feelings as there's a shot taken by,
it's
I
right,
believe that's
right
Watson.
near Lincoln, Alabama.
I got you. But he loves saying
East Taboga.
East Taboga.
Yes,
or Booga. I say Booga, he says Boga. Let's call the whole thing off.
Yes, indeed-do. One of my favorite announcers of all time.
And that also reminds me, talking about some of the greats of college football, today is Bear Bryant's 101st birthday, or would have been. Thurkill throws it, hit, and almost completed the pass, as it was intended for Watson.
I think he caught Watson by surprise there. I think Watson thought he had gone down, and next thing you know, the ball's coming.
So now 4th and 24. Will they attempt a long field goal? I do believe they will.
I think so. And I will say, Graham, that Casarubias, warming up right after halftime, was hitting field goals from near this range. So he does have the leg to make this. This is going to be 47 yards.
There is no wind to speak of. Trust me, we know. That one is
That's
blocked. And it's just like a punt. Now it can be returned if Cullman chooses, and they do. And probably a smart move there, because that one could have been down inside the 10.
It could have.
Instead, Zach Glenn comes up and returns it to about the 10-yard line.
It's going to be on the 10, and I believe the guy who got the block of that field goal was Bailey Comstock, who came through there and got a hand on it.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Cullman when we come back.
Relax, Carlos. With McDonald's, you can afford to win them both over.
Right now, you choose any 2 Big Mac sandwich, Filet-O-Fish sandwich, or 10-piece chicken McNuggets for only $5.
We've had Alpha Insurance since our first daughter.
And when we had quadruplets, we really needed Alpha.
Now we need our own insurance with great rates, fast claim service,
and a local agent we know.
And we want a company our kids and grandkids can trust.
Ask about Alpha's new legacy discount for homeowners.
Call Alpha!
The warrior spirit, it's in there. Always has been. Now let it out and take the world by fire. Train well and learn what it means to be a Troy Trojan. Walk with confidence. Conquer. Claim territory and climb ladders. Discover your inner warrior. Find success in teaching others with an education degree from Troy University. For details, visit troy.edu/spirit.
We continue our coverage of high school football on Thursday nights. Next week, we'll go to 2A. And what a ball game. Washington County and Sweetwater, a couple of region rivals. They've been battling for years. And we'll have it for you here beginning at 7 o'clock on Raycom. 1st and 10, and the pitch, and a big play on first down as Dawson Drake will pick up about 20 yards and a first down for Cullman. And as I check the quarterback, I do believe we've got a new guy out there. Is that Harris at quarterback? I believe it is.
I believe it's Bronte Harris. That was a little pitch play, a little forward pitch right there to Dawson Drake, and he made a nice run. Gets him some breathing room there.
I've come up with a name for that. I just love it. It's called a skippy pass.
A skippy pass.
Yes. Handoff this time. And a gain of, we'll say 2. And running into the pile. That was number 33, Crenshaw. So gain of a couple. It'll be 2nd and 8. Yeah, I'm getting ready to copyright. You know, we've got the young man, Texas A&M, his parents want to copyright his name, Trill. Right. So I got to come up with something. I came up with three-peat first, by the way. I just want you to know that. Before Pat, the coach of the Lakers. Long throw downfield on 2nd down, and that was knocked away.
A lot of contact there. I believe it was all incidental, though.
So a 3rd down coming up for Cullman.
You know, you've come up with a lot of terms.
I make words up.
Week 0.
Yeah, I came up with that one. I don't get credit for that one either.
You don't get credit for that one at all. You don't get credit for 3-peat.
But you've been around me before that I make up words and a lot of people don't know what they mean.
That's true. That's true.
It's kind of hard for me to get any footing on any of this.
Sometimes it's incoherent babble, but
yes. Oh, wow. You've been talking to my wife again, haven't you? 3rd and 8. And taking it himself, and short of the first down is Harris. He'll get to the 38. And they'll need about the 41.
I believe you'll see them go for it here.
You know what? Britain might as well. They need 2 scores. And with the clock moving and just under 8 minutes to play, they will probably keep the football, or at least try to here, on 4th and 2. Harris is taking the snaps. Again, they need to get to the 41 for a first down. And it looked like he ran into his own man, and that allowed, is that number 3? Yes, it is. That is Errol Barnett, or is it Thompson? One or the other. Actually, it'll be Thompson.
Errol Thompson, yeah. Errol Thompson on that play. Again, he's a young man that played offense his first 2 years of high school football and got hurt both years. Shoulder injury his freshman year, knee injury his sophomore year, and he's back on the defensive side of the ball and doing some big things for Florence. Good story for them as he's persevered through those 2 years of injuries, missing most of both seasons, and back on the field strong this year.
You know, it seemed like we've had a story like that every week covering these games, and you love to hear them. It's just fantastic. 1st and 10 at the 38 for Florence.
They're missing a lineman. Here he comes. Play clock down to 5.
Stewart runs in, and now a timeout will be taken by J.B. Wallace and the Florence staff. We were talking about next week, Washington County, Sweetwater. Stacy Luger was a coach at Sweetwater forever.
Yep.
And he decided last year would be his last year, and I understand now Mississippi coaching.
He's gone over to Mississippi, I believe.
One of those schools you can't pronounce.
Like I said, Neshoba Central, I believe, is where he is in Mississippi now. But I went to college with Stacy and had been knowing him for a long time. I actually knew his brothers. His brother Keith was a coach in Alabama for years and years. And if you look at those standings there, you see Leroy, Washington County, Southern Choctaw, Sweetwater, the top 4 teams right now.
How many of those teams have won state championships, either the 1A or the 2A
Wow,
level?
you know, you're looking at Leroy, Washington County.
Southern Choctaw.
Southern Choctaw has before.
Yep.
Sweetwater's won a ton of them. I mean,
and you have to go way back. Flomaton actually won one several years, I think before you and I were born, but that is a stacked region. And we'll have it for you next Thursday night here on Raycom. 1st and 10.
But it's very interesting, Graham, that going back to my college days, I knew Stacy Luker, and I know several of the coaches on the staff at Sweetwater, but I also know Danny Powell very well. Danny was around Livingston when I was at West Alabama, and played a lot of softball with him, played some tournament softball with him, played some league softball with him, got to know him real well. And
so all of you guys ended up as coaches.
Yeah, we did.
You didn't have anything else better to do,
There were a lot of us, you know, back at Livingston at that time at West Alabama who were in education and ended up as coaches. So, you know, those were some fun times. Stacy Luker was a talented athlete. He was more lean toward the baseball side as far as having an opportunity to maybe play professionally. Never quite got that break to get into professional baseball, but he was a talent.
3rd and 8 for Florence. Adams again as they try to move the sticks here, and I think they'll be a little bit short, but would not be surprised to see him go for it on 4th down just inside the 30. And then there's Washington County, who, what can you say about them?
Yeah.
It seemed like those two teams for a while were alternating either who was winning a region championship or who was winning a state championship. Just fantastic program.
Yeah, some great athletes down around Chatham, down there where Washington County is. And, you know, that's just been a very productive part of the state, especially in football.
4th and a yard. Third kill looks over to the sideline. They will go for it. And Adams, I think he's short.
I think he is.
Good
job by the Cullman defense.
Yep, knocked down at the, well, he needed to get to the 28, and I think he actually lost a yard. There's a timeout on the field. It is 28-14, Florence in control.
2014 marks the 75th year our state parks have served the people of Alabama. During this Diamond Anniversary, you'll discover special events to celebrate this milestone. Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here. Whether you like camping under the stars or staying at a resort lodge, the Alabama State Parks specialize in amazing family adventures. Let's make this the best year yet. We depend on our partners, and just like these folks here, you can be a partner too by supporting our state parks.
Visit a park today!
At Baumhauer's, we're all about great sports, legendary food, and Southern pride. That's why we're serving up all your Southern favorites, like our tangy grilled fish salad, hot Bama brown, and our famous wings. And it wouldn't be the South if it didn't have a little kick, like a homemade gumbo and wild Gulf shrimp and grits. And don't forget our mouthwatering desserts like Bama Nana Pudding or strawberry shortcake. So call the gang and put a little South in your mouth.
Out of 89 Renaissance hotels in North America, the spa at the Renaissance Hotel in Montgomery was ranked #1 as of August 2014. Out of 358 Marriott hotels, the spa at the Marriott Shoals was ranked #1. 3 other spas on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail also rank in the top 7. Clearly, world-class golf and the best spas for 2014 are in Sweet Home, Alabama. Call 800 Marriott to find out more.
Hello, I'm Gene Solings.
And I'm Pat Dye.
You know, anytime you can get outdoors in Alabama and enjoy a day like this, it just makes you proud to be an American.
And speaking of being thankful, there's a program right here in Alabama called Forever Wild Land Trust that helps secure our public lands. So everybody has a place to go and get outdoors. Hey, don't just be proud of Alabama.
Get out and enjoy it. Forever Wild Land Trust.
About 5.5 to go here in this one, 28-14. It's been a close game for most of it, but Florence pulling away here in the third quarter, building this 14-point advantage. But the Bearcats have it 1st and 10 at the 29. And the quick pitch coming near side. Drake will be brought down after about a 5-yard gain.
Now, what did you call that play earlier?
I've already forgot.
You know, if you're going to make a new term
It's
for
not
a play, you got to
look,
remember.
I'm sorry if I'm senile. You're supposed to keep up with the stuff, not me. I don't remember.
It's not a whoopee pass.
No, it's not a whoopee pass.
But you had a nice name for it a while ago.
Yeah.
We may have to watch the replay of
I'll
this
have
game.
to
and
do
get
that, yes. But it kind of goes in with a whoopee.
Sort
You
of.
know, it's
yeah.
kind of the same.
It's in the mold.
Yes.
Yeah.
2nd and 6. Harris with a keeper, gets a couple. We were talking about Stacy Legal. We failed to mention who the new coach at Sweetwater is. That's Pat Thompson.
Pat Thompson's the new coach there.
Chris Wilson at Washington County. Boy, they'll have a great. It'll be standing room only next week. Down
Chris
at Sweetwater.
Wilson's at Washington County. Not Danny Powell. Where's Dan? Is Danny a Leroy?
As far as I know, I believe he, unless he's changed.
I had that wrong.
Actually, Jason Massey now is at Leroy. We'll just have to check all this out. I got numbers and names here. As there's a nice run for a first down. Out of bounds is Drake at the 45.
And you talk about Sweetwater, 235 official residents of Sweetwater. And it's the smallest title town in the state of Alabama.
Kind of like Green Bay in the NFL, right?
Well, you gotta remember a name from Sweetwater. The Landrum family has produced some players not only in football but in baseball as well. Sweetwater's pretty doggone good in baseball as well, and they produced some nice players on the baseball side. I know some Landrum brothers played in professional baseball and as well as football.
We got an official's timeout and an injury on the field. Actually, it's on the sideline.
He's back up.
Drake, so he's going to be all right. But yeah, you're right. And I remember we had one a few years ago. Landrum, I believe it was Anthony Landrum. He led Sweetwater to a couple of state titles back in the early 2000s.
That's been a family name along with the Lukers that has been around the Sweetwater area for a long, long time.
Yeah, Stacy, I think he had a couple of sons that led Sweetwater to championships. Buck Sweet will gain a couple.
Well, and his brothers were part of those teams, that were very good too. His brother Keith, who became a coach in Alabama, and then his brother Wayne was another great athlete down there, and then Stacy, and so they've always had a family name there.
We'll go to Michael Llewellyn after this play. 2nd and 6 from the 43. Again, it's been Henderson at quarterback for the last couple of series. The handoff to Slocum, and he'll get a couple. And let's see what Michael Llewellyn has found on the sideline.
Thank you, Graham. I'm back here with Randy Jinks of Alabama State Parks. And one thing we didn't get a chance to talk about earlier, it's a special year this year for the Alabama State Park.
It is. It's our Diamond Jubilee. We've been celebrating our 75th anniversary this year, 75 years of serving the people of Alabama. We've had a Baumhauer Shrimp Fest and Barbecue event series that we've been using as our headline event, and our last one is coming up October the 11th down at Oak Mountain State Park. I want all the viewers to know about that, and if they can't come out and help us celebrate these wonderful state parks.
And we find out all this kind of information, including the new app that you guys have, the events that are going on, all about the different parks. From going to what website?
Alapark.com has got all the information you need for your state parks, including the app that you mentioned, and all the information about fall specials. We're entering fall. That's our highest occupancy time of the year. Great place to come and enjoy the beautiful color show that Mother Nature puts on every fall. So we're glad to be here, glad to partner up once again with the National Guard Army, especially on this special day.
Well, we appreciate your support at Raycom Media with our high school athletics. We greatly appreciate it.
Good to be here. Enjoy. It's a good game.
Thank you, Randy. Back to you, Grant.
There's a completed pass, but I believe it may come back. The flag thrown at the 25 as Harris throws he can throw the football, hitting Owen Lovell for a long gainer, but it may be coming back.
I don't know if that's going to be a holding penalty or it might be a lineman who got a little too far downfield. Let's see.
Well,
it's defensive holding. Okay.
Well, and you know what? Now look at what's going on.
That's
you got
right.
the ball at the 10. You're down 2 scores. You can score a touchdown here if you're Cullman, and onside kick.
Who knows what could happen after
We've
that.
seen everything else tonight. Why not? But they got to get this in first. And I got to say, this moving to Bronte Harris, kind of like with Florence, has really helped matters for the Cullman offense.
It really has. Quarterback has not been a healthy position to play for either team tonight. Both starting quarterbacks have gone down, and the backup folks that they put in have done a more than adequate job, done a nice job actually. And
as that play strung outside, and nothing much for Drake. Fact, he gains nothing. Might have lost a yard.
Now watch this play get strung out over here by the Florence defense. A lot of white shirts just going to keep extending it, and finally the play made on the edge over there.
But that's something that you'll hear a coach or two talk about, trying to run wide against speed like that.
Right.
The old saying, bows and arrows against the lightning. It just doesn't work.
They've had some success with that particular play in this half, on this drive actually. But that time, Florence did a good job of stringing it out.
This time they go straight ahead as Al Dajali with a carry. He'll get a couple. Clock continues to move. 2:03 and count. And now Cullman's got to think about that clock if indeed they want to try to get back in this. They can't take too much time as we're under 2 minutes to play. 11th play of the drive here. Now a timeout will be taken by the Bearcats.
You're absolutely right, Graham. Time management becomes very important right here for Cullman. They got to get those plays ready. They got to have them ready. They need to get this ball into the end zone so they can do something to give themselves an opportunity.
I don't know how much Harris has run a 2-minute offense. Probably not much.
Probably not much.
But
not from that position anyway.
Right, exactly. And they need 7 yards here. The ball at the 7. Why don't we take a look at what our play of the game will be and take your pick. We had several.
There was a lot.
But it did come
Rolling
from Mr. Adams. Yep.
Going to get loose. This is a big play for Florence right here. The play that appeared to be stopped in the backfield, but he got loose and then just won the foot race. And what a play for Roland Adams.
70 yards on that run for a touchdown that put Florence up, I say, for good. It's where they are right now. They added another touchdown. The play of the game, sponsored by Alabama State Parks. Now you're on the other side. Cullman. They can have their own little play of the game here if they can get a touchdown in these next 2 plays. And be right back in.
Absolutely. Right back within a score. Right where they want to be.
Give us one chance.
Yeah, they would need to execute something, you know, but
we'll see what he comes back with.
You got to credit Cullman for keeping their head up and not getting down when things kind of went against them in that third quarter.
Al Dajali in the backfield with Harris, who will take a direct snap. He's going to look to throw. Nobody's open. And down he goes at the 15.
Got tripped up.
D. Smith again
over there by D. Smith. Good job. As he tried to cut back toward the middle. Shoestring type tackle over there.
Now the game comes down to this for Cullman. They need to get into the end zone. 4th down from the 15. Clock moving. 1:20 and counting. And at this point, if you're Florence, you don't let anything get behind you in the end zone. Rolling left, Harris looking into the end zone and throws it up for grabs, incomplete. Short of the intended receiver, Owen Lovell. And that'll give the ball back to Florence, and they've got a minute to get rid of here and take home the win.
That was a tough play for a quarterback that doesn't play the position a lot. He's rolling to his left. Got to get his body turned and try to make that throw. And a tough one there for Harris.
But these Bearcats have put up a good fight tonight.
They have. And, you know, it's exactly what J.B. Wallace from Florence expected. He knew these guys were well coached. He knew they were hard-nosed, and he knew they were going to fight to the end, and we've seen that tonight.
Florence will need to run a couple of plays to finish it up. Davis, who's been a workhorse here the last few series. He'll get about 5 yards. So Florence will improve to 2-1. 2-0 in region play. That's the most important number.
It is.
And we'll basically have a leg up on Cullman, who is going to be a factor in this race for the region championship.
They're going to get better and better as the year goes on.
Could be the last play. Davis goes down to the backfield, but
there's that guy, Justin Patterson.
He had to have one more lick before the night was over.
And, you know, and he was getting blocked right there and still just shed the block and made a big hit in the backfield. You know, the guy can play.
The final seconds tick off the clock. The players meet at midfield, and they'll congratulate one another on a game well played. Final score, Florence 28 and Cullman 14. Cullman falls to 1-2, and that is their first region game, so they're 0-1 in Class 6A, Region 8. But as we talked about with Britain earlier in the week, they just want to keep getting better. They knew what they were up against tonight.
Absolutely. They know what they've got to do, and they know what they're facing. They know they're a young football team. And, you know, just like we talked a lot about Center Point last week, the coaching staff at Center Point feels like that team's going to get better and better as the year goes. But I believe this Cullman team is going to get better and better as they go along as well.
Yep, I think I said this in the break. I don't want to play them late in the year.
Oh, right, yeah.
I mean, you're better off getting them early in region play because I think they're going to continue to improve. Their youngsters are going to get more experience. Meanwhile, Florence, well, what about the speed? They had it, plenty of it, and it proved to be the difference.
You can't say enough about it. And let's find out who our defender of the game is this week, Graham.
Do we get a surprise?
Let's see.
You got, again, plenty to choose from. And there's your guy.
There's your guy, number 41. Not the guy we highlighted at the beginning of the game, but a guy that Coach J.B. Wallace talked very highly of before this contest, Braden White. The Florence linebacker is our defender of the game.
And part of that is because we could show his whole face.
That's right, because he lost his helmet on that play. Yeah.
On that particular play. They had a lot of stars on defense tonight. And again, their defense did the job, maintained good field position for the Florence offense, kept, other than that one possession to start the second half for Cullman, and they had great field position to start there. They did the job.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
You can't say enough about them.
Absolutely. They ended up being pretty dominant from a defensive standpoint in this ball game and not letting Cullman's offense have a lot of leeway, whether it would be running or throwing.
So again, the final score 28-14. Florence, the winner over Cullman. Again, next week we go to Sweetwater for a 2A clash, Washington County and Sweetwater, in what should be a lot of fun down in South Alabama.
Oh, absolutely. Boy, and we've had a lot of good games here in the season. A lot of excitement. We saw some, our first game of the year, we had the last-second field goal to win it. Last week, we saw some really good players on both sidelines for Center Point and Shades Valley. And then tonight, boy, the lightning that started this ball game with the big drive, the big pass play for Florence, and then the 94-yard kickoff return and everything in between in this game. We saw just a little bit of everything.
And I expect we'll see some of the same over the course of the next few weeks. We've mentioned the game next week. That'll be followed by what we call in Montgomery a Capital City Conference Classic. Montgomery Academy and Trinity, they'll follow that Washington County Sweetwater game. That one will be a war, I can guarantee you.
Absolutely.
We're looking forward to bringing you all of those games. The coaches have their teams at midfield, getting in their praises, getting in their corrections, and they'll get back at it again tomorrow and get ready for their next battle next week. Hope you have a great weekend. Continue to support high school football. Florence, the winner tonight, 28-14. For Mike, I'm Graham Dunn. So long, everybody.
Looking back through the pages of history, old French forts, old Spanish cannons, and a Mobile neighborhood coming back to life. We'll also swing open the vault and visit a man who's bringing old windmills back to life. And from swinging windmills to swinging your partner, relive a page of Huntsville history. Plus, a visit with a modern-day man named Cotton. Take a ride through the Marshall County countryside, a ride that's absolutely Alabama.
I remember the moment.
I'll never forget that moment.
That changed my life.
At that moment, it hit me. This is why I joined the Guard. We're soldiers, always ready to protect our country. But we've also got communities. Family, friends, neighbors who count on us. I couldn't believe it. I just saved a life to somebody from my hometown.
See what it means to be a citizen soldier at NationalGuard.com.
2/3 of drivers who died in car crashes chose to ignore this warning. Seatbelts save lives. Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
If you're involved in a car crash where a driver's been drinking,
you're 4 times more likely to die.
more people die when it's DUI.
A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
As your Alpha Insurance agent, I can help you customize a plan that'll save you money while still protecting your family.
Saving $10, $15, $20 a month makes a big difference for families.
We're able to give you a better product for a better price with better service.
I try to give the customers the kind of service that I want myself.
And that has value. You can't get that online.
We have a great product, a great claim service, and it's a real value buy.
For the best agents in the business, call Alpha